I have no problem disrupting everything that is written in that brief to talk about it.
Right. I need to actually like find a light novel title this week instead of waiting for the last 20 seconds.
Oh, that'd probably be smart.
Well, that and you need to bring up the very first one because
Have to bring up.
I still
know,
got. We're
Frank-
still doing that. We're still doing
Frank is a new guest. He needs to understand how this started.
Oh, okay.
So the story for that is literally at the end of every episode. We were like, "What's a funny little trope thing that like we get people to actually enjoy making it to the end of the episode?" And Nate was like, "I don't know. Let's just find a ridiculous light novel title that literally nobody." So the title is "I Can't Believe It's a Light Novel Title." So literally, he just finds the most ridiculous light novel title that he can every single week, and that's the end of the episode where he goes through the description and it gives you the title.
Got
We-
you.
We have seen some very unique light novel titles. And some of them have now become anime, such as I killed slimes for 300 years and accidentally maxed out my level. That was one of ours. So I'm a spider, so what?
Yeah, I'm actually enjoying. Well, kind of enjoying that now. It's kind of.
I've heard good things. I haven't actually looked into it. Suppose a kid from the last dungeon boonies moved to a starter town is another one.
Yep.
That one was
Have you
fantastic.
seen? I put all my points in defense.
Yes.
Yes.
I actually
Tim
really love it.
loves
Oh,
that
I
one.
freaking love
It's
that
my
show.
favorite.
Oh,
It's my favorite so far. Of
that
those.
was
Yeah.
Frank. You
It's
and I are gonna
called,
get along beautifully.
Promare is the. I mean, it was out in Japan in 2019, but it's coming to HBO.
Oh, is
very
that the
soon.
Trigger show?
Hmm?
Oh, okay.
I don't know if
Then
you guys want a video what, but it's yeah, you can look it up. It's just Promare
I'm looking at it, yeah.
Studio Trigger.
I like
Beautiful.
the fact that it's coming to HBO is a very weird and wild thing, but I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they're
Well,
getting
it is
into
a
it.
movie. That's why.
Hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
You can watch it on Amazon Video right now in English.
Yep, that too.
Ooh.
That, yeah, I just saw it. Prime is getting into anime.
Prime is really
Huge.
good in the anime.
Yeah.
Prime's been in the anime scene for a couple of years now, and it's honestly kind of fire.
Well, so
I
what
just
what
don't
happened
like
was
English.
Amazon made their own like separate sect that was like, this is the anime streaming network, but it was also like $7 a month and they had barely anything on it. I know like the show that they were trying to really sell it with was Tim, what's it called? It's the Rock Girls. Land of the Lustrous.
Land of
Yeah.
the-
So they were trying to sell it with Land of the Lustrous, and it lasted like I think less than a year before they were like, you know what? No one's buying this because there's no reason to spend an extra $7 a month on 2 shows. So we're just gonna put all of our stock back into Amazon Prime.
Yeah, and Amazon Prime Video is actually kind of fire.
But like
I
that's
don't
the
know.
reason we got
All
Land of the
streaming
Lustrous and
services.
Recreators.
Yeah,
So
Recreators-
I don't have TV because of streaming services.
ugh.
I don't need it.
Have you seen?
Actually, yeah.
Recreators yet?
If you're looking for a pretty fun kind of meta show, Recreators is fire.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, that's on our list. to
It-
watch.
We're watching it through the watch parties right now. We have 3 episodes from the end, and like I am consistently blown away.
Oh, really?
Like
It's very good.
oh, that's
the-
good because my wife was like, "We better watch that with me," and never went out. So I was like, "All right." All right.
That
It's
the
definitely on the
quality of the
recommend list
writing-
for us right now. We're not done with it
Yeah.
yet. So it could end terribly. But
could be a
if
trigger.
but I can guarantee at least the first 19 episodes are incredibly enjoyable.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay,
I
now
lo-
that we're live. I'm
uh,
gonna start recording.
I love that Sherry's like,
okay,
hey,
I'm
their
listening.
audio levels are quiet, and I was already adjusting them.
Yep.
All
Okay,
Already
I'm
fixed.
recording in
All right,
5,
recording.
4, 3.
What are we doing?
We're starting
We're
recording.
going to
Tim.
Okay.
Paul
Did you
Paul
I
is
read
bad
that
at
out.
this.
You up?
I've already started. You should probably edit at this point.
It's
That's
that's
fine,
fine.
it's
John,
I'll-
live. We started clapping in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh.
just yell really loudly and clap.
Uh,
Just give me a visual. Just like something to go off of.
there you go. Best I
we're
can
good.
do.
I've already
We're good.
started. So you
It-
if you want to go for
No.
the clapping in, just let me know.
No,
No,
that's fine.
it'll be fine. It's honestly at this
now.
point, it's easier to edit like lining up the endings because we all end roughly the same time. So
Okay.
That's true. That's true. Okay, now we can keep just being random and doing.
yeah, and we can start. We can actually start the podcast whenever. But yeah.
But yeah, so Recreators is fantastic.
Mhm.
It's one of those like, I guess meta is probably just the best word, because like
I'm-
it takes all of like the tropes and then brings it to like a real world ish type idea where it's like, oh, like what would happen if like anime creators had their creations come into
It's-
the world and then they could mess with them? You're
Oh,
like,
boy.
whoa.
It's
Like,
it's
so-
just a manga artist who decided, you know what would be really cool is if I could just make a crossover show with all of my favorite shows. But like, because you have your very clearly not a JoJo's character, you're not a magical girl character, you're not cyberpunk post-apocalypse like detective character, you're not a knight character, you're not a mech rider character. Like
It's all of the typical like genre
You're
stuff.
you're
that you'd be like,
obviously Evangelion characters.
yeah, getting the robot Shinji.
Getting a
the robot
motherfucking robot Shinji.
So it has all those characters and then like brings it to a head with like an actual interesting storyline in the middle of it,
Mhm.
and watching them fight and see how those like powers interact and what the main storyline is. It's very well done. I was not expecting it that well, like to be that good. On top of it, like if you're also a generalist anime fan and you know who Hirozuki Swano is, he does the soundtrack. And you just
Mm.
can't go wrong with Swano. So like
Right.
you put all good stuff and then a Swano soundtrack on top, and you're like, well, now it's an A plus show. It may not be S, but it's up there. So
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
it's good.
And it's Studio Troika, which is just made up of a whole bunch of people that did Fate Zero and left.
Which was great too. Fate Zero was pretty.
I
solid.
like all the Fates, honestly. Well,
Yeah.
no, let me not say all the Fates because I haven't seen all the Fates. I've seen all the original Fates. not the
Yeah,
Parallel
yeah.
Universe.
Fate Zero and Stay Night are great.
Yeah, yeah.
Unlimited Blade Works specifically, but like, yeah. Then you start going off, and there's some.
Yeah.
I have watched Fate Extra, I think like 3 times, and I still don't understand it.
I don't know what the hell's going on half the time in those things. It started off with like, I'm like, oh, there's wait, who? And then it's like all these other people, and then it was like a recap of something that you haven't even seen yet. I'm
Nate,
like,
Nate, what's your favorite tagline for this? Fate is a series that adheres by very strict rules all the time with no
Yeah.
exception. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Fate is a series that follows a very strict rule set that it always adheres to and it never breaks from, except for the times that they add additional servants, the times that they have servants summoning servants, the time that they break the rules, and the time that nobody actually ends up getting the Holy Grail.
I just
But other than that, it follows the rules every single time.
yeah.
Like
I
that's
actually really like, yeah, Unlimited Blade Works. I actually really like
Yeah.
definitely
lot.
my favorite.
a lot.
I fell in love with Gilgamesh as like a character concept
Mhm.
in Zero, and then like
Yeah.
it really just fleshes him out in the rest of the stuff, and I was just like,
At least
I
he was
can't be
consistent.
mad at
Mhm.
exactly. I mean, he was consistent.
Well, I mean,
I can't
Saber
be
too,
mad at
but
him.
whatever.
Well, I mean,
know?
well, like Gilgamesh is in the new Fate Grand Order.
Oh, God, really?
What's it
Ab-
called?
God.
Fate Grand Order Babylon, Absolute Demonic Front Babylonia. That's what it is.
That.
Yeah, he's the king because it's Babylon.
Oh well, I guess it only makes sense.
They-
but
they
damn,
do,
poor
like-
guy, dude. How many
It's
times are you knocking his summon again? Like, just stop summoning. I'm
no,
done.
it's,
Like,
it's so weird because Fate Grand Order now they're not getting summoned to places. They're just like fucking traveling through time and shit.
Yeah, yeah,
so they just
popping
like
up.
showed up at Babylon and they're like, "Yo, look, what's up, my dude?"
Honestly,
turf.
the Fate Go series is kind of entertaining if you look at it purely as meme Fate content.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And when you look at it through the lens of this is not meant to be serious, it's way better.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Anytime I have to.
I love
can-
Fate Apocrypha so much just because you can't take it seriously. Like, there's so much going on. It's so all over the place. Like,
I still have to sit down and see the Heaven's Field movies.
yeah, we need to watch all of those.
'Cause the third
'Cause-
one finally came out, and like
That's called Patreon content.
that's true.
see, I
Well,
think
the-
we all still need to watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Diamond is Unbreakable live action. But
Oh.
Patreon content.
Even
That's-
Frank said no to that. I was like,
Ah.
no.
listen,
I don't even want to think what they're gonna be doing in that.
we know it's gonna be bad. That's the thing. We know it's gonna be terrible. There's no way that's good.
Oh man.
But that's why we
See-
need to watch it.
That's why I'm saying all of those, oh god, we need to watch these because they're going to be so bad, need to be done like the first month that I'm living in Tampa.
It's true.
because then we'll have a whole like 6-month period of Patreon content that we can just schedule release.
It'd be so much easier to do it that way.
Yep. Okay. You guys ready? You guys ready? Are we
Yep,
ready?
yep,
Are we ready?
yep.
Yeah.
Here we go. Tagline. Guys, welcome to Studio Blank, the anime and manga podcast where you can find all your news, views, and reviews on all things weeb every single week. I'm your host. I love Mondays with my two co-hosts, Nate and Tim, and we have a special guest this week. His name's Frank Technic. He's one of our good
Technique.
friends at Rare Drop. Technique.
Technique.
That's
Say it wrong
okay.
every
Come on,
time.
Paul.
Ben says it wrong all the time. I just sit there and I'm like, all right, go.
Paul, you're the host. This is your entire job.
Listen, at least I don't
It's
screw
okay.
up the opening.
It's all right.
Anymore.
That's true.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Thank you, Tim.
I have fucked up the opening one time. Paul, how many times have you fucked up the opening? At
Like
least 15.
7. I was gonna say 7, but that works.
7 with a multiplier. Oh no.
Yep. So Frank's here. We're gonna talk all about some anime. The last season, current season, thoughts on the how would you say that? Animization
Animation
of
of
the
American
American media?
media.
Yeah,
That's what I
Yeah.
went with.
yeah. I think that works. It's just a mouthful.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start off with our news as always, though. Tim, take it away because I know you made it. You made some cool
Okay,
stuff.
so I missed this article last week purely because I'm blind. That's really the only exception for this. We're getting more Higurashi content.
Oh.
And it's coming out soon. In fact, like July soon.
Oh.
Oh wow.
And we had just gotten another season of Higurashi When They Cry. Like this past season, it ended in March.
Cool.
So, for those of you that like Higurashi, myself included, there's more Higurashi content. I didn't even realize there was a second season that I missed.
Oh. That was like me with Love is War, Kaguya-sama, because I didn't realize there was a second season out in Funimation because I only watch things on Crunchyroll half the time. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, it's only on Funny.
Yep.
I spent a lot of
see
my
that a
week on
lot lately.
Funimation.
You did spend a lot of your week on Funimation. There's a lot of stuff on Funimation this season, actually. I was shocked.
The greatest show of the season is on Funimation.
That is very true, and we will talk about it.
We will.
I have seen only the first episode, and
I'm glad that
Purely
you knew what
because
I was
then-
talking about and you didn't just default to Vivi because I thought that's where you were going.
No, Vivi's great. But...
there are 2 episodes out of this show. And
You
I've
know
only
exactly what I'm
watched one
talking
of them. Another thing that just started or will be starting, in fact, is the manga called Blue Box. I actually read it today. It came out at the time of recording. It's been out for maybe 8.5 hours.
Gotcha.
The whole concept is it's somewhere between shonen and shoujo, and it's about a badminton guy and a basketball girl. They fall in love. Can they make it work? Their schedules are really weird. That's the only concept I understand behind it. There was one fucking chapter. There's not a whole lot I can get out of it.
Well, you know what they both have in common? They can both handle balls well.
Actually, in badminton, you're handling a shuttlecock.
That's even better.
He has complete control of his shuttlecock, and he knows how to handle them balls.
Hey,
There we
beautiful
go.
relationship.
That's the tagline.
In more manga news, and this one's kind of fucking upsetting to me. Mitsutoshi Shima, oh my god, Shima Bukuro's Build King manga, which has only been going for 18 fucking chapters. So I've had 18 weeks of this.
Mm-hmm.
Is over.
Oh,
There was no announcement in like Viz, no announcement at the end of the chapter. It's just over suddenly.
So,
2
like-
volumes in.
So
Sounds
it's
a
like
budget got ripped.
so there's like the story did just like stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they just decided like, oh, so they did like a Hunter x Hunter, except there's no intention of like pretending that it's not over.
The worst the worst part is we finally got a reveal on why these 2 were the main characters this chapter, and it's just over.
Huh.
Like the story was finally getting to a good point.
Tim, I think what we need to do is we need to team up and write the continuation of this story. What we'll call it Red Circle or something. What was it called? It was called Blue Box.
No, this is Build King. Blue Box
Build
is the
King.
one that just started.
Okay, so this
Uh,
is Build King. We can call it like Build Queen or something. I don't know.
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of a rundown on it, and if you want to like go and read the chapters that do exist, it is pretty entertaining.
Mhm.
Tenkachi and Renga live on Mysterious Hammer Island, a place where no humans should be able to survive. The two are carpenters who build houses for the island's inhabitants, but what are their special powers and what are their dreams? Construction soon begins on this mega build of a battle fantasy story. The whole concept was that it was architecture battle, and it's honestly pretty spicy. And I'm really fucking pissed that it's over.
This sounds like Minecraft Hunger Games the anime.
It is. And honestly, it was kind of fire.
Build Ace, yes, that's the new title. Because what's
Yeah.
higher than King?
So we have an approximate release date for Eden Zero in America, so that you don't have to do the morally gray thing that we talked about last week.
And it's fall.
Yeah, that's what they said. It's fall.
Eden Zero and Shaman King are going to be coming to the West in fall, even though they're airing right now over in Japan, because that's just how Netflix works. And that's why we're sad when Netflix scoops up titles.
Yeah,
Always.
that's really my only issue with Netflix scooping up titles is they fuck me when I want to watch a show concurrent.
They make good shows. They good titles. They just always delay it. It's like Fate Apocrypha was a Netflix title, but again, season 1 aired when season 18 was airing in Japan. Like it's dumb that we have to wait so long. It's not all right.
Speaking of another Netflix show, and that's why I saved this one for last.
Mhm.
Way of the House Husband.
Yes.
Yes,
It started this week
I
or this past week.
saw.
With 5 episodes. It debuted globally. They have already confirmed part 2.
It
Oh yeah.
it looked
That show was hyped.
interesting.
It was hyped way before. Like
Oh yeah, 100%.
there was an image and they had a title and people were going nuts and it was just over and I was just like, yeah, I want to watch it. It was like
no,
it was like GTO with a house husband. I was like, yeah, I want
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I can't-
So, for those of you who are listening and watching and are not aware, the Way of the House Husband follows a retired Yakuza member known as Immortal Tatsu, who is living out his post-crime career as a house husband. He still manages to find his way into trouble from time to time, except it's in the grocery aisle instead of some back alley.
I love this. I saw this on Netflix last night or the other day when I was browsing looking for more anime to watch. And I was like, you know what? This is new. It looks interesting. I'm gonna get back to you on this, and you have already sold me on it.
Yeah, no, I had seen the manga,
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, concept seems interesting. It showed up in my Amazon recommended for my Kindle, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get to it. I have the first 3 volumes. Have I opened them? Not yet. It's like 3rd on my list. I just need to finish what I'm currently working on. But now that the anime is out, I'm just gonna watch
You just
the
gotta
anime.
go
ask
for the
if you're
anime.
gonna watch it before you read it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at the
Oh.
cover, dude. You can't even pass it up. Like
It looks
Oh,
so
no.
good.
it's so good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. How do we go from former legendary Yakuza to crepe shop owner?
Yeah.
Wait,
looks
he owns a
serious when he's
crepe
cutting up
shop?
food. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
see, I'm so sold on this. I'm so ready to watch this show.
No, it gets better. Another of the main character includes a former Yakuza boss who now works part-time at a grocery store after her group fell through.
I love this. I did not know that it was like that the show was like this. I just saw Way of the House Husband. I was like, this looks like a dude who's not supposed to be at home doing chores, and I'm interested. And you have shown me that it is a dude who is not supposed to be at home doing chores, and he is.
Yeah. This is why I
Pretty
saved this one for last. I thought it'd be the most entertaining.
That's cool though. They're getting a part 2. That encourages me to go watch part 1.
I'm always excited when good stuff gets a part 2,
Mm-hmm.
just because then like you get kind of see the conclusion of what you got in part 1. Because a lot of the times, much like when we see Tower, when we saw a bunch of these originals come out, you get like this whole section. And you're like, yes, and then it ends, and you're like,
Never gonna see it for
it
another
was
8
it was
years.
going somewhere, you know. And so even
Actually,
if you
you
don't
know
get
what?
that part 3 and finish, I like to see like the conclusion.
There
of
is
that.
one more piece of news, and this one does not have an article because it's Studio Blank news, and I will be right back.
This terrifies me.
Oh, I think he's getting he's either getting the record or he's getting Senku. I don't know which one it is.
So,
It's probably the wreck.
Senku is getting shipped to you.
Oh, cool, dope.
Senku and
Okay.
Quinn are getting shipped to you guys. But look what
Oh.
arrived today.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the Tower of God record.
Oh, nice.
I have
nice.
not.
Power of
I
God
have not
record.
opened it.
I can tell
I
it's
was waiting for
clean.
the stream.
That's dope.
So when Tower finished, they announced that they had a limited edition run of vinyls coming from Kevin Penkin's whole
Oh.
soundtrack.
And
And so what
we
backlog?
ended up with number 1082 out of 1264.
Close one.
And
Close one.
Oh
this-
wow.
Wow, that is
That is-
clean.
Took the words right out of my
Ooh.
mouth.
Dude,
That's sick.
I need a record player. I know
We
you-
have one.
so
We have one. We just don't have anything to plug it into. We literally have a record player. It's underneath this table in the background because there's nowhere to put it. We don't have a sound system or anything to hook it up to.
Oh no.
It's just there. That and my records are like over there. There's just nothing to do with them.
getting this back into the sleeve, difficult because I do not want to hurt the sleeve or the record.
Absolutely.
but-
So that's exciting.
That was the last piece of news that I had for this week.
Well, that's
Cool.
good.
I thought you guys would get a kick out of the fact that it was here and it's in person. You could see it.
And for all the audio listeners, it was a record.
Yeah, it's the Tower of God limited edition vinyl for the soundtrack that Kevin Penkin did for season 1. And I swear to God, if he doesn't do season 2, there will be riots in the street.
Well, I mean, we still need season 2 of Tower of God to be confirmed. Crunchyroll, please give us season 2 of Tower of God. We
Yeah,
would
we
love.
really need it. My
I-
goodness. I can't just end it the way they ended it because I was like, when is this kid gonna do something? My God, he's annoying.
Give us the Hell
God, help him
Train.
do something. And then yeah, I was
so
like,
So it's really funny. So I started rereading Tower of God from the second season recently, and so what I've been doing is just sitting in my Discord and saying people can join in, and I'll just be doing whatever, and I'll just stream it to the channel, and we can do it together. Somebody, Cherry from the chat joined in. And he's like, "So what's going on with this?" Like, oh well, in season 2, all of a sudden, not only is he incredibly powerful, he's working for the most powerful gang, and they're all holding him hostage because they want to use his power to kill the king of the tower. And it's like, wait a second, this is way more interesting than season 1. Like,
yeah,
what the hell is
everyone
going
told me
on?
to read
It's
the
almost like
manga
season
or
one
the
was kind of a
manga.
prologue.
Mhm.
Yeah, everyone said to read the manga. Don't go off of the show. And I was like, yeah, but you know how I like to do? I like to get disappointed and then read it.
Well, the show is great. Like,
show
but
is
it's
great.
but it's only
good,
the
it's good.
it's the
good. I just
prologue.
wanted the main character to hurry the hell up. You know,
Oh,
I'm
dude,
just like,
right? Like,
you
I
know,
want
there's a
to.
difference between manga and shows. I only got like 20 minutes to watch you. So like,
Yeah.
I think
Oh, absolutely.
my favorite part about Tower, and if you
Other
didn't
than
know,
the fact
Tower
that
is
this
literally what
podcast
this
exists.
podcast exists because of Tower.
oh
Literally.
really?
Yeah.
So what happened with that? To give you the context, or this will be like the third time our listeners have heard this.
18th, but yeah.
Is one day, you know, I started the anime. I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, I can't wait. I have to, like, I'm just gonna read it. So I found it and started reading it. Halfway through this, I'm on like chapter 300 something. I messaged Tim and I'm like, yo, like, you have to read this with me. Like, because he was our resident, you know, manga reader. Nate reads less than both he and I do at this point.
Yes.
And so, you know, we're sitting here binge reading this thing and we're like losing our minds
So
once you get
then-
to, like, the cage and stuff.
Episode 3 has just aired at this point, and they're messaging me that I need to start reading it. And so I'm like, I'm gonna watch the first 3 episodes because I at the time I was doing watch first 3 episodes, do a review for another thing. So like, do that, watch the first 3 episodes. Like, okay, well I gotta like wait a little longer. The 4th episode comes out tomorrow. Watch the 4th episode and then binged all 400 chapters.
I would like to
and-
point out when he says binge, I binged all 474 chapters currently available in 3 days.
Oh my god.
It took him a week and a half.
It took Nate a week and a half.
Took me 4 days. What the hell are you on about?
It felt like a week and a half.
It felt
It's like a week, please.
I was literally a day
about 4
behind
hours.
you.
And so my favorite part about it though was while we're sitting here having Nate read behind us because we'd already finished it. Nate's reading it after us. We're getting like updates in our Discord call because he was like, I'm tired of messaging you guys separately, so we merged it. That's literally how the start is. We'd like show up at like 9 in the evening and just sit there and read with Nate as he's reading through, and Tim and I would be messaging each other back and forth as stuff's happening because he'd be like, oh man, I love these two characters, and we're like, rip, they die. Oof.
Yeah, and then like when they died, I just go in and I just type like I'm like, how could you fucking do this to me? And for 20 minutes, I'm not even looking at the chat, they're just posting sad gifs, like people crying, and like this person's like, oh.
we had prepped for that, knowing
Oh,
full
they
well
were
where he
were
was.
waiting, but it was really funny.
And that's how this podcast got started. Is literally we were like, well, I guess we're gonna like sit here. If we're gonna sit here for like 2 hours a night and just talk anime, like why don't we?
Might as well, yeah.
Exactly. And so, Nate was like, well, if you guys start a brief, I'll do it because I don't want to be the only committed one here. And the next morning, Tim and I had a brief, and
We're
like, hey,
a
I'm
lot
handing
more
this thing
committed
to
than
Ben.
I expected. I got roped into this really fast.
It was kind of one of those things. I was like, I was looking for some new content to do because for a long time I had taken a break from streaming. And I was like, I need to get back into content creation somehow because for me it's my passion project. And I was like, ooh, I've been wanting to start a podcast, and when you have two people that are willing to just go along for the ride.
Might as well. Yeah. Okay.
So that's how that all happened, and Tower was the catalyst, and since then it's been like random stuff. It's been doing that with ReZero, doing that with we did
Misfit
God
at
of High
Demon
School,
King Academy.
Misfit at Demon King Academy, which was hilarious. So that's kind of just where it spawned off and has taken off. So now you're here.
I'm here.
So let's jump into this week's topic now that we've kind of hit you with the TLDR of news and how this podcast came to be. The animization of American media. I don't even know necessarily where to start because I think you understand the history of it a little bit more than we do. Like I've watched it, of course, over time, but I think, my earliest, memory is probably like Avatar: The Last Airbender, of anything that like was American that looked more like Inuyasha, Dragon Ball when I was growing up. So like I guess we start there. Is where do you think you saw your first?
I mean, funny thing about Avatar, Avatar is made by a Korean studio actually. So a lot of people thought all the art and animation was done here. It wasn't. So a lot of the planning was done here, and a lot of the martial artists that pose for everything live here. I actually worked on Avatar: Last Airbender trading cards with a local artist here named Sanford Green, and we did the trading card game. Went with the DVD. It didn't last at all because back then it was all about before that was like Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon cards and stuff. People weren't really feeling Last Airbender because the movie ruined everything. Anyway, but so they transitioned out of that and they were trying
movie?
to run
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't even a movie. It was a homebrew or something. I don't know. But the comic and stuff was going to come out, but they were just like, oh, we'll stick more to shows. Nickelodeon was playing hardball, so we just like whatever, because you had to have somebody to pick up, right? Either going to be Udon at the time or whoever. Long story short, well, it's been around for a while. It was introduced, but it was looked at as ugly. You notice a big shift between Spider-Man in the 90s, with very stiff swinging and stuff, but it was a really good show. It had really good stories, really good introduction to the Ultimate Spider-Man, which was always manga or anime based. Ultimate Spider-Man always had extreme anatomy, the way they throw their punches. That was something that we taught back in the early 2000s in school, was that you can see animation coming into play based off of fight scenes, because a lot of fight scenes with Superman and Batman, all that was like bam, plow, like stiff arms. But now when you see like Spider-Man draw his arm way back and they have the dynamic punch in the camera, that's when you start noticing, okay, so they're bringing in some more animation. Like Hyun-Tae Kim was a big person to bring it to the West. He still has really awful anatomy, but his pictures are so pretty that you just go, I don't care, I like it. There's boobs, so that's Hyun-Tae Kim. And LaShawn Thomas, who is a person of color, which is is pretty great because back then it was very unheard of for a lot of people of color to even bring anything outside of American to the West. So he worked a lot with this Korean studio for Cannon Busters and stuff that did the same people that did Airbender. And he's the lead artist and he's the executive producer of everything. He's been to Korea and Japan, lived in both. I think he's in Japan now, working on that samurai anime. Which is
I'm
coming out.
so
the
excited
new
for
one.
that.
Yes,
Okay.
we are all very excited for that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be really, really dope. So LaShawn is really the biggest catalyst I can think of. Early 2001, 2002, 2003, in that era is when he started like really melding it down here and really pushing for it. Going to studios, getting fired from studios, best and forth because he did not hold. And someone said this is too Eastern. He was like, well, all right, move on somewhere else, do my thing. And he did it. And he opened up his own studio. And that's pretty much where everything started, like, domino affecting. And now you see Wolverine in anime.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
What do you, out of curiosity, since I actually still haven't gotten to see it yet, did you get to watch the Samurai Batman movie?
I watched some of it. I think it's really good art style. I think the atmosphere is cool. I just think that I don't think people were ready for that. And the story translations, anytime you bring in comic books, you gotta hit on what's the norm for people to like kind of really get into it. I think for the artists in us, and you don't have to physically be able to draw or see art, but people that enjoy art are artists. I believe that we would appreciate it. But I don't think the average person that likes DC films would appreciate it because it's so far-fetched and out there. I thought it was gorgeous, and I'll say that. Was it great? They could have gave it to somebody else to do better if I really wanted. But I think for what it's worth, it did its job. It's just say, hey, we can do this in different styles and this will be still cool because, comic books are great. But yeah.
So kind of on an adjacent point then as well, when did you see the translation from manhwa over into comics in the US, I think, because I guess that's kind of like another correlation.
Oh my God, what was the book? Again, I'm gonna say LaShawn Thomas because he's been the one that's always fought for that. I was about 15, 16 years old. I met him, and for context, I'll be 38 this year. So, God, what was he working on? Arcadium. It was a comic dealing with this young boy, but it went to Udon. Udon was the biggest comic book company that brought anime style because Street Fighter was completely anime.
Right.
100% across the board.
Yeah.
Yeah. Studio Udon is I want to say they are the ones that we can like really congratulate for bringing it and really pushing it, especially on the Korean side of things, because a lot of people when they hear, manga in general, they automatically go straight to Japanese manga. But Korea been hitting on that ball for a long time, and I want to say that they pushed it to America probably faster than Japan. It's just that people just thought it was Japanese. I mean, they fed off of each other, and that's just the way it is.
Interesting.
Well, it's like you can look over in a lot of the Eastern countries. If you look at China, if you look at Korea and Japan, they all have very similar styles. It's all kind of melded together. And the only real way that you can tell it apart is based on what language you're reading it in.
Well, I mean, Chinese. Well, I'll just say manga, just so people know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They have a very divine style, right? Like their characters are extremely overly detailed and long and slender.
Yeah.
Pointed. They look like elves. Everybody looks like elves.
A lot of the time, you're absolutely right. They do.
It's just like long, beautiful, and you can tell by the dress. They're always dressed in these very traditional Chinese, and the character might be like 11 feet tall with like a train on their dress that's like longer than 3 or 4 pages. So it's just like there's a Chinese version of it. And the Korean, Japanese is they're over styled artists. Like they'll blow up a page and you'll just have a hard time finding out what the hell's going on half the time. So if you read Japanese, you'll be like, all right, great. If you don't, they try to Americanize it by like dubbing it over or whatever, and you're still kind of lost because it's just an explosion on a page. But the one thing you can say about it is it looks good. Like,
always.
Oh my God, this looks freaking epic. It's in motion, and Korean just kind of like in between. They have the beautiful characters, and they have this more. I think if you're out there, audience listening, trying to get into anything, I think the Korean side of things might be easier
Oh,
'cause it's
yeah.
easier to
I have-
visually,
Especially
consume,
with a lot of the webtoon stuff available now.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
essentially
Oh,
just
yeah.
reading colored manga, and webtoons are so much easier to flip through in a format, and it's left to right instead of right to left. Like just
Yeah.
a couple of things that make it so much easier and more accessible.
Yep.
Yep.
I was gonna say it's
Speaking of-
also free traditionally, comparatively.
But yeah,
You know, like that's the
God
big
of High
thing.
School?
But yeah, you can read almost all of God of High School. You can read almost all of Tower of God. You can read a bunch of Solo Leveling. I
the
don't
vampire one that they changed.
Noblesse.
Noblesse.
No blast.
I'm so pissed at that because
Really?
I saw the original episode 1 and I read the original up until a certain point, like years and years ago. And what the hell that they released? What is that? That's not the same dunk,
I haven't
man.
read
I don't know what
Noblesse.
that is. It has
Yeah.
the same characters, but it turned into a isekai. I don't even know. Like, what is it?
Yeah, I ended up putting Noblesse down.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
I
like,
just-
why are we
I-
in school and why are we staying there and why is it drama that teenagers have? What is going on? I don't know, man. The
Yeah.
original, I was like, this is badass. Can't wait. People were getting torn up in shells. Like, what is this going on now? Like, we put it down real fast. Hot fire. Put it down.
Mhm.
I think my favorite manhwa that I think Tower still sits at the top,
Mm.
but just because I tend to sit more for context, like I'm a Tolkien guy,
Mhm.
like Lord of the Rings, like you can even like
He's the
extend that
big
to kind of
fantasy
some
boy.
Lewis. Like it's not even just the big fantasy; it is the worlds of a scale that you understand are so complex that like stuff is happening even and you realize it while you're happening with like your main character.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like in Tower, you know, when you're reading it, you're like, oh, like even though you're focused on something that's going on with the main character, you will like have this weird understanding that there is also bigger picture stuff going on that they're not aware of, but that you get glimpses of. And so that kind of like generally is what I'm drawn to in a lot of like those larger fantasy stories. And so Tower really gives that to me. The other one that I recently like really fell in love with and binged was Solo Leveling.
Oh my
Like-
god, you're so welcome.
Yeah,
I
I
think
heard about it. I heard about it.
It's classic in the sense that it takes its like
I'll go get that novel.
basic distilled like story of like, oh, weak to like literally God. Like that's the concept of the character. But the way
It feels
in
like a
which
really
it's done-
Korean concept.
yes.
I mean, it's shown
Like-
at the end of the day. That's
Yeah.
my stuff. Like, I love it.
And so but
Oh, you
in
probably
certain-
love it then.
you probably
You'd love Sung Jin Woo. He's
Okay.
fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read it.
the
Yeah.
things that I love about it are that like there's little intricacies in like the way the character understands his own world that point to like that he understands the world at large. Like and those are the kinds of things that I enjoy. It's like being the guy in like and you play League, so I guess like this is
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fair comparison here, right? Like in a MOBA when you're like, "Oh, I'm playing top lane, but I understand that like if I push this lane this way, both lanes have to move like this." So like and
Mhm.
like that concept of like a main character's understanding of what he's doing always like brings to a head a story, and I think Solo Leveling does that very well. Just
sick.
like Bam in Tower kind of has the understanding, but a lot of the
Mhm.
times it's imparted onto him by his mentors, whether that's
Yeah, and I got really frustrated about that.
Yeah.
I was just like, here's this kid that, all right, in the beginning you understand that you weren't the old powerful god that you look like, but once you start getting that understanding that you are, like, do something. Like, goddamn, like I was just like, man, give me your power so I can do it for you. Like, stop letting everybody push you around and use you. But I'm glad where that anime is going. I mean, at the end, I was like, okay. I have to wait until I'm 40 to see it, but that's okay. Like so.
That's why I read it. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
and
think
then
I'm gonna
you
read it too. I got to get back into heavy reading manga. I tried to slow down because the last time I read a manga and then watched the anime, I was pissed. So
Which
I don't
one?
want to get there. I kind of want to watch it first and then be pissed and then like have a band-aid put on it by watching reading the manga. That's what I want to do.
Which show is that?
Oh my god, there's so many, dude. What was
fair.
the last one that I was really pissed? Oh, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. My Hero Academia.
No.
No.
Actually, no.
No.
I am
There's
100% on that train.
I'm just
We're on
saying.
the
Fuck
People
season 4.
worship that anime. I'm like,
You know, I
Fucking
didn't finish the last season of My Hero, so I'm not caught up, and I'm not pushing this
like
season.
it, but it's
and
not
like
where
it's
it should
not
be.
like-
I'm on the same page as you. Like I'm just like it's good. I don't hate it, but like right now, I have no motivation to like continue.
Let me take the heat off of that because I know you guys are tripping right now. Bleach. Okay.
Frank,
Out of here.
Frank, I swear to God, you and I are the same fucking person right now. Because
I never
the
started
amount of
Bleach,
heat
so
that I take for my Bleach take, which is anime's not good.
It's not.
It could be, but damn, like it has so much brilliant setup. It's just like they come up with this great idea. They're like, oh, here's this, here's the hollows. You're like, oh shit, hollows. And then next thing you know, it's not even about it. I'm like, what the hell are we crying about? Oh, it's drama. So he's mad that he's more powerful than him. Oh, okay. We get all that 100 times. Oh, you're gonna give me a decade of fillers? Great. All right, cool. I'll just forget about it. You know, and then they're talking about bringing it back. I'm like, why? So you can do more fillers? Like, anyway. Yeah,
we have solidly made the opinion on this show that we will take Burn the Witch over Bleach any day.
yes. Yes.
I swear to God,
Absolutely.
Frank is
Dang.
he's just one of us.
He's
one of us,
Man,
one
man.
of us.
So,
Yeah.
okay. So the thing that I was not disappointed by,
Mm.
one that I was not recently, is JJK.
I
Uh-oh.
actually,
One second,
you know
guys.
what? As someone who
Actually, somehow
read the
my thing
manga
stopped
and then
recording.
Stop recording. Oh, hold
okay,
on.
I'll
Holding.
do it again.
Nope,
All
you're
right.
good.
I don't know why that did. I didn't press a button to stop.
No, you're good.
We're good now.
all right.
JJK.
Okie dokie. So, JJK,
Mm.
I read the manga entirely before starting that show, and I was well prepared to be disappointed. Like Mappa has done a very good job in 2020 and 2021 thus far with the shows they've worked on, and I will credit them 100. I have sung their praises plenty of times on this show, but I was thoroughly ready to be disappointed, and then Mappa didn't drop the ball a singular time.
I was
No.
about to cut this podcast off if you would have said it was bad. But my eyebrow was up there. I was like, what you about to say?
No,
Tread lightly.
Frank, I don't know if you've listened to any of the episodes from what is effectively the last season of anime, but all three of us have been circle jerking JJK since
Bro.
episode 1.
I am I am a believer. You know,
So-
okay, it made me put down Kimetsu no Yaiba. So that made me put down Demon Slayer. I'm
Wow.
just being real. I was like, yep, it's better than Demon Slayer.
Oh
I got
no,
heat.
I will
I would
100%
agree.
agree.
I would
That-
agree.
Visually
That-
speaking.
the last episode, bro. Like, whoa.
Really quick,
Go
Tim.
ahead.
Speaking of Demon Slayer, I bought our movie tickets this week.
Nice.
Thanks for going without me.
I'm sorry, Tim. Do you want to fly down to Florida? I bought 3 tickets.
Oh,
Paul doesn't have to go.
Joke's on you. I can go. I have nothing going on that day. I don't have time.
It's 2 weeks from yesterday. Show up.
I'll book my flights with all of the miles that I've collected.
Frank, you want to
True
drive down from
fans.
Orlando? We'll grab a 4th ticket. Like,
hey.
We'll
Yeah, I could
grab
actually
2 more
drive.
tickets. Throw them.
anyway, so for other context on that, like
Mm.
I watched, I think it was the first 4 episodes, and then I looked at Tim. I was like, I have to read this. I can't do this. Like, it's that good. And so I read it, and then Tim literally had me and Nate sitting here, is going, so you guys can't spoil anything, and we're like, nope, we want to, but we can't.
Yeah, I haven't
you
read
know-
it, so please don't.
Yeah, of course not. But like we were waiting for Black Flash, and Black Flash was just
yeah.
like the black and white, the like into
Oh, they
color.
did it so
the impact-
good.
Cherry, I said Paul would lose his ticket. You and I are still going regardless. I see you sad in the chat. Don't worry, your ticket's safe.
I will buy my own ticket. Dang it!
I'm such a fanboy of the show.
It's
It's
so
like
It's amazing.
everything was great. It's like taking all right. So, like I told the guys, I'm a big shonen boy just because I love big fight scenes. I love the intricate complexity of the art. And though I'm gonna say something people might hate, I thought Naruto was great. They had a lot of fillers, but Naruto Shippuden fight scenes,
You
there
can't
was
go
a time where I said you can't beat it, but holy shit. Like, you know, it's coming close because, you know, if it wasn't for Boruto, and I know everyone hates Boruto, but let's just say, if it wasn't for Boruto's that fight scene with Sasuke and Naruto was saving Boruto, like if it, That thing gives me chills thinking about it. But man,
Even I've seen that fight scene. I fucking hate Naruto. Like,
but bro,
So interestingly
Jujutsu
enough, that's
Kaisen's
one dude. If you didn't know,
Huh?
if you didn't know, the fight scenes for Naruto that we all love are
Yeah.
choreographed by one
But-
dude.
right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And,
You
like,
could tell
and
us then because it
yeah, yeah,
switches the style, right?
Yep.
But that fight at the end of Jujutsu Kaisen with the music matching up,
Dun,
bro.
it's
dun, dun, dun,
I
dun,
rewinded like 8 times.
every single like fight scene in JJK is so well done, from the movement of the characters. They do so much background movement and camera changing that's incredibly difficult to do in 2D. So whenever I see that, I love it.
Oh my god! And then the scene when they came in slow mo and they took it back to back and they swapped.
Oh my god. I tell these guys almost
Kenny
every
Kodo.
single week, if you give me a 360 camera rotation in a 2D animation, like, you have sold me. And JJK does it so well, and it doesn't get
It's better
old.
every episode. You know, like episode
crazy.
1's fight scenes were like, all right, cool, that's really cool.
It's like,
We've
okay.
seen better.
Yeah.
At the end, you're like, what did I watch? And it's like they're not. I still don't think they're not on the level of Naruto yet, but it's getting there. That last scene was very convincible.
But the thing is, like, how long did it take Naruto to get to that level, though?
Yeah.
Like, this is only 24 episodes,
Literally,
and Naruto's like got
Naruto
700.
Sasuke, yeah. Naruto Sasuke fight scene was, I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. All right,
Yeah.
the fights are there
Mhm.
because you can see the one thing that they do is the hand movements and like the actual
Yeah.
wrist lock. I've been a martial artist all my life, so when I notice stuff that's like real, I'm just like, yep. That's why Airbender is like godlike to me for the Western market, because the fight scenes were like very intricate, especially back then, right? Because they actually took actual martial artists and drew the actual movements. It was like
Yeah.
research, and that's a big reason why American animations fall, because they don't do their research. They're just kind of going off of trends instead of just having fun with it.
What did you feel about God of High School? then?
That's exactly what I was gonna ask him.
Yes, that I loved God of High School. I loved it. I know that people have some rank stuff to say about it, but there it has its problems.
Like a story,
really
from a
does.
story standpoint, it's very meh, but the fights are something
the
that
fight-
I like.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Like animation fights, yes,
And
I like it a lot.
Appa doesn't miss.
It's the same studio
Yeah.
from JJK, so like they know what they're doing.
You know what? That's the perfect cover up for shitty stories. You put balling ass fight scenes. I don't give a crap about the story.
Why-
All right,
why-
cool, let's go. Like,
Listen.
I hate a character. I'll start loving him once he start kicking ass. Like, you know,
listen. When Dragon Ball gets boring, Goku gets a new hair color. It's how it works,
Yeah,
right? Like, you
yeah,
cover
yeah.
a bad story with interesting fighting.
Like,
yeah,
so-
and Goku doesn't do shit. He
He
doesn't.
eats. No, he
With
eats
his
food.
spoon moving,
He
we
eats
freak out every
food.
time.
I love Dragon Ball. I'm man enough to admit, like, yeah, no, Goku doesn't do shit.
Goku's such a bad
Super-
character. He doesn't do shit. He's a horrible ass father, and all he does is
Vegeta.
eat bad food. It's like-
Vegeta is the best character in Dragon
He is the
Ball.
best character in Dragon Ball.
Change my mind.
High five.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can we talk about how good Vegeta was in Super?
he was great.
Oh my god, he's
Great.
awesome.
And then the last what was Super, the last redemption that we got?
Yeah, Super's as far as we've gone.
Vegeta's my favorite character. Period. Anyway,
Mhm.
but
I'm also a
damn,
Sasuke
I
fan,
was like,
so that gives you context on my favorite characters.
oh yeah. But I was feeling Vegeta. Like I don't know why. I never get emotionally bound to anything Dragon Ball because I'm just like they're just gonna die and come back anyway. It's cool. But I felt for. I was mad for Vegeta. I was like, why does this bitch, excuse my French, get Ultra Instinct? Blah blah blah. Like Vegeta's better than him. He
so-
always pushes them to what Vegeta teaches Goku all his shit. Doesn't get
Yep.
anything.
So like,
Poor guy.
the direction the manga going there is they're like focusing on Vegeta right now too,
Right.
which is like
No,
I'm not
TLDR.
reading it, but I know where it's going because I've seen enough people updating online, and I'm so
no.
excited.
To give you
Ugh.
context for what's going on in the Super manga right now,
Mm.
they've had a bunch of fights. They beat a bunch of people. Yada yada yada. Nobody gives a shit, right?
They did Dragon Ball shit.
They did Dragon Ball
Yeah,
shit. But now we're getting to the point where Goku is training with Whis to like further his Ultra Instinct.
Right.
And Vegeta's like, I'm fucking done with this. And Beerus goes, come with me.
Yes.
No. What Beerus says is, Vegeta's like, I hate the gods of destruction. You can use Ultra Instincts. Like, do you really think the gods of destruction would use a fucking instrument where you have to be calm all the time? That's bullshit. I'm never
Yes.
gonna train you, but I'm gonna go work out in the courtyard and you can watch.
Like, bro, can you imagine Vegeta getting out? You know, they always been yin and yang, right? Like they always been yin and yang. So
Exactly. And so
I'm
Beerus,
waiting
like,
for that.
Beerus is gonna be training Vegeta, and like this entire, they're
The
finally like
latest session,
fully
he actually
branching
does
off.
Sakai.
Like
He
Hell
does
yes.
Hakai.
He actually Hakai something out of existence.
Nice.
Vegeta can now almost Hakai Goku out of existence,
Oh,
and that will be
hell
the
yeah.
greatest
Like-
moment in Dragon Ball history.
yes, it
Will
would.
change my goddamn
well,
mind.
like they're
Did you spend
finally
time with your son today? No, bye.
they're finally like going on different paths of growth because it's always been like Goku does this, then Vegeta catches up. Goku does this, Vegeta
Yeah.
catches up. Vegeta gets a little further, Goku surpasses.
Or Vegeta gets this and Goku's like up here.
Yeah, like, and then so finally
Master
they're
Dad,
like
I'm taking a
going.
poop today. What? Like, oh man.
Now they're going
I'm
on like
excited.
different branching paths so they can get stronger in different ways, and it's such a more interesting story. Like, I'm so excited for that. I want more
Wow,
super anime.
It's taken almost 40 years, but we're finally getting to the point where the Dragon Ball characters are different enough that they don't have to be on the same goddamn path.
It's not just
Goodness.
other Goku.
And
Yeah, it's
poor
not the Goku
Gohan.
and
God
Friend
dang
show.
it, man.
Poor
I hate what they did to
Gohan.
Gohan, man. I hate it.
They did
And
him
he's
so
like,
dirty.
I'm back, Dad. And I was like, oh, tear. And then he gets that's what.
Can we? Okay, so on that note, I want to make the point. Toriyama was like, "We're gonna make Gohan the next thing. Let's do that." And then everybody in America and the entire group of fans were like, "No." And he was like, "Well,
I hate it.
I guess if I want to keep making money and keep making manga, I have to not do that."
Why?
And it just
So
makes me mad.
they like undid.
Awesome.
Like
Back
we
in the
got
day.
Gohan, we got Mystic Gohan with a sword. Like that was supposed to be our
Okay.
next Goku. And they were like, you know what? No, we don't like Gohan. And it's like, why?
I mean,
I'm sorry,
I was like,
did you
Gohan did a command man with one fucking hand, man. What do you mean? Like,
Yeah. What about Cell Saga Gohan is not way
That's what I'm
fucking cooler
saying.
than Goku?
That's what I'm
Explain
saying.
to me.
Command man with one hand. Ain't nobody doing that. They still using two. Come on.
He also completely fucking demolished Cell at full power, who beat Goku. Like,
It wasn't even
He
close,
sent
by the way.
Goku
Just-
to
yeah, it's-
heaven,
Ugh.
and Gohan just kicked the shit out of him.
like
Inconsistency. It pisses me
Yeah.
off.
don't watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah, I tried. I got out of there.
Yeah, I know. It's I cry.
So I want to go from there just because I think like I guess I want to ask the question, why do we like, because I feel like this is you and I, at least, Frank.
Mhm.
If you like Vegeta the most, do you like Sasuke more? Or, like, are you always
Hell
like
yes. I'm
okay,
Team Sasuke. Dude, I'm so non-major protagonist. My Hero Academia.
Bakugo.
Bakugo. He is the main character of. I don't care what people say. He is the development because he's stuck in Vegeta land. He's better. He's smarter. He's more strategic. He's everything. And they just give it to plant heads.
Yeah, I like Todoroki.
God.
Oh, I'm also.
Yeah,
a
I was gonna
Todoroki.
say I'm a Todoroki stan on this motherfucker.
Okay, cool,
But, like,
so-
I can understand the Bakugo argument.
No, yeah, like,
100%.
you guys can be happy over there in your Bakugo land. We on the left side of the screen are going to enjoy.
Okay, I'm not gonna compare him to Goku at all because Deku is he's
He's
a
his own
good
character.
person. Yeah,
He's a
and
good
he,
character.
and he works really hard. Blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
it's the same thing. Now Bakugo did win that little fight between the two of them, so I was happy about that at least. But then they were like, "Oh yeah, by the way, that was just a plot to make him stupidly powerful," and I'm just like, "All right."
So there's two things about that, and number one is the greatest what if in anime from that last season was what would happen if Deku hit that kick, because that was like some wild. A, the animation was dope. B,
yeah.
like that kick would have knocked Bakugo out of existence for a
I
couple
would have killed
seconds.
him.
Number two, I don't know if you've read the manga compared to the.
I stopped because
Okay,
I'm
I'll put it this
going
way.
to because anytime somebody says you need to read, I'm just like, nope, I'm holding off.
Yeah, no. So I like you don't need to, but like manga Deku takes no shits. Like they make
okay.
anime Deku kind of like a
what
like
what's the
Bakugo,
word?
Kachan, like
What's the
in
word that they say? Himbo? No, what's the word?
Ditzy,
Ditzy.
whiny little baby.
Yeah.
Like in the
um,
manga, he's literally like
useless.
he's like Kachan. By the way, so don't fucking forget it. I have it. Like if I really
Oh,
wanted to kick
sick.
your ass, I would kick your
Why
ass.
don't they give
We
us
can
that?
fight, but like if you know that if I had 100% at my disposal, I'd kick your fucking ass. Like that's
Yeah,
the way he
yeah.
is throughout the entire thing.
That's
And,
what
like,
I want.
And Kachan goes through the whole thing being like, I'm gonna catch up to you. I know I'm not there, but I will catch up to you and beat you. So like that's the dynamic in the manga. Like it's never been like this weird like, oh my god, Kachan. Like
Yeah. I
And-
hate it. Oh, I did not like that at all.
And for the manga readers, Final Act Deku, for the first time in 300 goddamn chapters, I have respect for how he's handling this fight.
yes,
That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil it for people that aren't caught up. That's not fair of me to do. But wow. I don't know what the fuck happened in that time skip, but he got his shit together.
Yep.
Like, even from manga Deku, he got his shit together, and now he finally deserves people's respect.
Yep.
Good.
I
Good
think
move.
I think my favorite part, and this is what frustrated me about like the secondary movie not being canon at some level. Like the first movie I could care less about, right? But the real thing that frustrates me about the second movie not being canon is you actually gave us part of that character development in that second movie. You got the Bakugo like representing the fact that he's like, well, I guess you can do the thing that I'm trying to do your way, and I guess I have to respect that. It's frustrating that I have to fight with you to do it sometimes because like I think you're a whiny little bitch half the time, but like we can do this, you know, and Deku in the reverse being like, I get that you want to blow things up, but like you're blowing things up because you care. So like, you know, it's the balancing
it's the
act there, and
balance.
that wasn't blown through in the anime, even though the manga kind of showcases it, which is what frustrates me because like you have that whole thing. We're finally getting the Todoroki stuff with Endeavor, and that makes me super happy because Todoroki's character development makes me really happy in general.
Oh, good.
Because
Good.
he's just mwah, like
Mhm.
Todoroki's my secondary favorite character. Like
Endeavor is fire, and anyone
That's the
that
point. That's like that's
disagrees
his
with me.
power.
No, I like Endeavor a lot.
Yeah.
I actually like him better than what's his
All-
face?
All
All
Might?
Might.
All
Might.
Might. Yeah, I like him
I-
better.
imagine one of the main characters being so forgettable.
I mean, yeah, well,
Jojo!
I mean, poor guy. I mean, he was set up from the beginning to be forgettable.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
but
so
that anime scene really pulled me towards him because you could see that he really cares, and like he finally getting respect from his son was like really good, even though
Yep.
it was like said the visualization of it. So I know I pooped on My Hero earlier, but the show has a great message. Like
Yes.
it's the writing is great. I don't have a problem with that. I just get really frustrated. Well, no. The emotion is there. There it
Yeah.
is. The
Yeah.
emotion is
Yeah.
there.
The
The writing I do
A
have a
for
problem with.
effort. A for effort.
Hey, so
Yeah.
The
A
thing
for
that I
effort,
love-
C minus for execution.
the thing
Yes.
that I love about Endeavor as a character is kind of the way that they weave into this narrative that like very representative of like Japanese culture,
Mhm.
which is like him being the embodiment of all the things that old Japan wanted to do and like to do that are not healthy for like a productive society. Like
Mhm.
like in their parentage, in their training, like beating their kids. Like there's like a whole symbolic thing in there. And like All Might being this like visualization of like Western culture and so on, and being like, okay, I know I make my mistakes, but let me teach you about like the things that I learned. And like that's an entire dynamic that I can like get behind and respect. And so watching Endeavor kind of come to these like coming of understanding moments throughout the series and finally being like, okay, there is no atonement.
Yeah.
It's just not there. I just have to go out and do my job, kick ass, and hope to God that like what I did was enough.
Mhm.
And like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
character
Oh.
development. So
Yep.
And
I'm big on it.
oh god, Endeavor in the manga just continues to get better. That's the thing, is like the content that we're going to see in seasons 5 and season 6 of My Hero will cement for a lot of people that Endeavor, one, is not a bad dad. He is a failed parent, but he's not a bad dad.
Yeah. He definitely cares for his. Yeah. You can. I
He
mean,
was-
you can see it. You know how much
He was dealt a very hard hand to play at times. And there was a lot of people that, up until the point where it was all revealed, did not understand that it was like, it's not all his fault.
Yep.
And the lens that you see him through Shoto's eyes doesn't help.
Nope.
But when you
It-
finally get to look at him from an objective point at the end of it, you can go, okay, yes, he fucked up. He was not perfect. None of us are.
Yep.
But he didn't, like, the things that people think he did are not necessarily the things that he did. And the results of those things are not all his fault.
he is a complex character, and it makes me happy to see complex characters done well. is what I'll put that. I'll because I don't want to spoil anything else. Because like what Tim if I say anything more than what Tim just said, I spoil things.
No, I get it. I'm playing a I'm doing a Rhyme and the Frostmaiden D&D on Table Story on Fridays.
Yeah.
And I play a very complex onion character that I wrote into the lore of Forgotten Realms that
Right.
I built him through it. And people hated him. He's a sun elf, which is a high elf, and he's a paladin, so blah blah blah. Everybody hate that. And I made him from House Vishannon, if you know the lore. And people just hate him. They call him asshole. He's not even trying to be one. But now they're understanding, you know, and it's that complexity of building a character and having development through stuff where you're looking at what you're used to seeing. It's like people want that comfort level or the instant satisfaction of a character being good or evil, or you know, or just having those alignments. That in between complete that gray character that normally makes up like the best stories. Those are so hard to sell because you as the artist and the writer know where you want this character to be, but the readers all have their own interpretations of it, and then they get with that one voice up there and be like, character sucks. Everybody's like, yeah, he sucks. And then they'd be like, no, 3 episodes later, this character's awesome. What do you, yeah, he's awesome, you know, and it's just like back and forth. You're like, all right, man, like, damn.
It's like
so yeah, complexities and characters are hard to build on development level.
So, real quick, chat, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna hear a message from our sponsors because we're like an hour in. Have a go. Be right back, guys.
Oh, that was for me.
At this point,
Yeah,
now
no,
we
it's-
just kind of hang out and vibe for a few minutes. Stretch.
If you need water,
you gotta
you
go to
need
the
I
bathroom,
need to grab water. Think I need to run to the bathroom. So
All right, you want to pause this record?
No, you
we
can just
usually
let
keep it going.
let it run.
Okay. So yeah, so I don't know how long that thing turned off. Probably like 5-10 minutes, but I don't think anything happened audio wise.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
All right,
Don't
cool.
worry
All right, I'll be
about
right
it.
back. Let me check
Yep.
on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
No
I'm gonna go
problem.
get some water. Chat, you guys are great. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you're appreciating and enjoying the episode. Tim, keep them company.
Yeah, I will talk with chat for a minute. I just need to open up chat so that I can see what they're saying. Hi chat, I love you guys. Now that I can see you. So, this is an announcement that I will be making because this podcast at this point is my baby and I love it. We as a group have been thinking about expanding the cast, the main cast, so that is no longer just 3 white guys with average opinions and average experiences. Frank, our guest, Technique TV, has been we have thought about adding him to the regular crew. And this was kind of the special guest episode where we got to kind of test it out. And I don't know about you guys in chat, and I don't know how the other guys are feeling, but I personally am enjoying it. And if you guys are enjoying it, I think we should do this.
What are we doing?
I was updating chat during the break about our discussion to potentially expand the cast
Ah, yes.
of the show, or of the regular show, I should say. To include Frank if you would like to come back regularly as a permanent addition to the cast.
We'll see how it goes.
I think the dynamic is in fact fantastic,
Yes. I mean, to be fair, he's like a collection of all of us.
and it's also kind of nice that he he might in fact be 15 years older than all of us, which is just 15 years of experience that we don't have. And it kind of it gives us an equalizer.
Alrighty.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
No, I'm loving this. I love
Sorry,
this
if I'm talking too much, just say so.
No,
I
dude,
get
no,
really
no.
excited.
That's the exact opposite of
Yeah.
of the problem.
So part of the thing too is like Nate, Tim, and I kind of hit these weird little dead spots where it feels like our experience is like hit like
Oh, like
this,
a plateau.
and like bringing you on is
Okay.
is great.
I'm glad.
You're also kind of a collection of like all 3 of us.
Good.
like,
That's even better.
like you have all of the shonen that Tim and I have with some of the background that like Nate has with like Fate and stuff like that. So like
Good. Yeah, I love it, man. Living in Japan for a year and a half to 2 years was great. Back in the day.
See, that's where I want to end my my career because I want to spend the rest of my life in Japan.
It's awesome, man. Well, now it's a little awkward, but it's awesome. Just seeing that I went to God, what school was that? It was a school where Ivan Gangeliano was oh god, what was this school? I can't remember where it was. I mean, I know where it was, but I can't remember the name of the school. Anyway, they're teaching these kindergartners how to do animation. Like straight up animation. They have like the portfolio reviews, like kindergartners. And the animation will blow your mind. I mean, they're not like, anime that we see, but you're like,
they're
what?
5 and 6-year-old
And
kids.
I'm talking about full rotations. It's not like it's just like grabbing something, picking up and drinking it. I was just like, how was this a thing? And then I went and saw the middle school versions and I lost it. So they have a school that just does animation and manga because manga
Yeah.
artists are really well respected over there. So it's just like they have these schools, these branches of schools that these kids can go into. And they start off as like, I mean, granted, they go to like regular school first, but they can
Yeah.
branch off into that and just become it's really awesome. I don't know if it's
I like that there's a pipeline for that.
Mhm.
That for me is
Pipelines are always
way more exciting.
Yep.
I wish that was more available, in Western education. If I had the opportunity to get into that early in my life, I probably would have. I have a massive passion for the arts.
To learn
Oh,
what?
My school was one
there's
of the
there's
first
schools in Japan that like you can
yeah.
transfer into to do like manga and art design,
manga,
like 5 to 15.
animation. Yep. Yeah,
That is very cool.
I went to the University of South Carolina, and by the time I left, we started a manga course. It's really hard to get a course pulled in, and then the
Yeah.
teacher get tenure, right? It's like really hard. He actually got it, and he visits Japan all the time. He has this gigantic book on it, and he actually put it in a southeastern school at that, which is even more bizarre.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have like electives left in my degree, technically speaking. So maybe I'll just try and transfer that class in from USC.
You probably
Be
could
fun.
actually. I think he's still there. Dr. Norman. I'll see if I can get his information. I hadn't talked to him for ever, but he made a special book and I'm in the credits and everything for all the people that helped him start it. He teaches you how to write manga. He actually grades your manga. He sends it off to big manga heads like in Japan and stuff to grade it. It's so cool, dude.
That's
That's
wild.
awesome.
That is
Maybe I
probably
can get
the
him-
best
I'm gonna-
class.
I'm gonna try to hit him up and see if I can even get him on your show or something. Or maybe
That
you
would
guys
be
can talk to
really
him.
cool.
That'd be the
Actually,
coolest
yes.
thing.
That sounds phenomenal.
Yeah, hopefully he's still doing it. I haven't talked to him since 3 years ago, so I'll see what I can do.
Definitely.
But even if he's not, if I can get a hold of
Yeah,
the
if I
book,
can just get a hold of him in general.
Mhm.
Or his book. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Okay, guys, welcome back to episode 37 of the Studio Blank podcast. I'm gonna keep it real low and classic for the beginning because we're gonna get hyped.
I don't know
anyway.
why he's getting into ASMR recently. Like last week, he was trying to do the outro with ASMR. Like
No, was last
should
week?
someone's
you
gonna
just-
slap the shit out of him, please.
it was very
You should
much
just be like-
last week.
This is the way it smells to be an anime person.
Wait, what is that? Uncleaned laundry? Is that
It's
that
happiness
5
and lots of sweat of fighting? There
is
you
that
go.
5
That's a-
pizza boxes stacked in the corner?
The 37 water
The
bottles on
scent
your
of
desk?
anime.
That's the descent of imagination.
the sense
Well,
of
actually,
being
you
a
don't want
weeb.
some of that. You don't want that.
No, please no, please no. But
Anyway,
man, there's been a lot of anime this season.
there's already a lot of anime. What? Okay, so Frank, what have you seen already this season?
Oh my god. I mean, obviously Jujutsu Kaisen, that was my big one. Promised Neverland season 2. Yeah, season 2.
Right.
That one was whoa. God, I have to bring my wife in. We've seen so many. Oh, Resurrected as a Spider. So what?
Yeah.
I'm not done with that yet.
I'm not either. Don't worry.
Oh my god.
I
what else
they
have we
the,
seen?
this season is extending, so it has episode 13 was this week. So
Okay, good. Because yeah, we still need it. We're trying to let it build up so we can like watch a little bit more because we're always like, what the hell just happened? Like,
yep. No, I understand. Yep.
God dang. There's
That
more.
has a bunch of weird time skips too. That like
Yeah, they said 15 years, and I was like, my wife was arguing, and she's like, I know it said 15 years. That's the same. It's the same spider. It's the same person. I was like, no, look at it. It's the old little white one they showed before. She was like, no, but that's how they see her. So we were going back and forth, and then it ended up being she ended up being right. I ain't gonna say that. But I was so freaked out. Anyway,
Yeah, that's the
God,
whole
there's
thing.
there's a lot more.
Right.
I stopped watching Attack on Titan.
I don't blame you.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
There were a lot of the underlying reasons that everyone should know. And let me see.
I was
so many more after that.
I was so angry when I saw the pacing of the last season.
You know
I was
what?
like,
I finished the manga.
The last season I wanted to punch an elf. Okay.
Specifically
the
an elf.
main
Other races,
character,
they're fine.
I swear I can't stand him. I was like, please eat his ass. Like, just eat him. Like, anyway,
You know what? All of the Attack on Titan fandom is mad at the ending. I'm content. It's
that
enough.
it's over. Yeah.
So they actually finished the manga. The last chapter came out on Friday.
Okay.
Um,
right. That's right. I saw
So,
that.
like just a couple weeks after. And so once the season ended, I binged all of the manga except for the last chapter, which just came out. And it's an ending. It's there.
Sounds like your
You-
typical
I
anime
think my
manga.
like feeling about the ending is it wrapped it up, and that's
Enough.
all I needed. That was all I needed from
Yeah.
it. I had the previous chapter had given me the high and the low that I needed going into it, and then 139 just kind of gave you that. Okay, I kind of understand where Aaron was at now.
It really just
I don't
connects
agree.
all of the dots really quickly and then is like, see ya.
Yeah, but I feel like there was no other way to do it, like
Yeah.
without going into more chapters. And I know Isayama he seems very suspicious, like superstitious, and he was like 13 years, 9 Titans, 139. It has to end here. It's over.
Fair enough. But yeah,
And think about it. 9 Titans, the 4th month ends up 13. There you go. He timed it.
Probably.
See, that just makes me remember ReZero's episodes like ending at a specific date because it was Subaru's.
Yeah, season 2
It
was
was
supposed to
supposed
start on Subaru's birthday and end on Amelia's birthday, and then we had a global pandemic, and then it didn't happen anymore. And Nagatsuki was like, I'm actually really disappointed. We worked really hard to make sure that this lined up just right.
yeah,
And
that's
now it
kind of
does.
super sad.
I think that's one of my favorite things about anime and like manga and that general like point is like the way they can do these like really obscure references or setups like that and just it work.
Mhm.
Like set up birthdays, set up like timelines, set up random like how much have you read of the Tower of God manhwa, Frank?
I have not dove into it yet.
Okay.
For the simple fact, like I said, I didn't want to be
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
disappointed and stuff, but I'm going to read it soon. If this second season doesn't bring us, by either the end of the year or the beginning of next year, I'm just gonna cut my losses and deep dive.
Yeah, I
Right.
don't blame you at that point. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just I
if
say that
you're
to say that
waiting-
there's so many random dumb pop culture references in the manhwa that you won't get from watching it that they're not allowed to put
Oh.
in. Like one character
okay.
literally has Shinsu bombs that are Pokeballs.
They make memes. One of them said one character like puts her fingers to her forehead, is like I'm gonna teleport to him. It's like shut, and somebody says like shut up, you're not Goku.
It's
Somebody
throughout the whole thing.
somebody blows up
that's
a path that they need to go to using the Shinsu bombs that look like Pokeballs. And so it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you do this? You know we need to get there. It's like, obviously because I want to be a Pokemon Go master. Like that's like those are the lines that are in the
great.
manhwa, and there's no way that's coming to the anime.
And there's no
Yeah,
way.
they couldn't do it. Yeah, they couldn't.
yeah, there's even a scene in the first season that you miss where they
Banana.
make a very, very fucking obvious dick joke, and they
It's
replaced
re-
it.
And they replaced.
Oh,
They had to
really?
replace it.
They
but it's hilarious.
They made a bunch of dick jokes but referred to them as bananas. Because it was Little Rack and he's like, "What? Is your banana broken or something?" Like, and he's like, and he
Talking
like
about
calls
Bam. He's
people.
Like, why
out.
is the black turtle depressed? Like, why is this black turtle depressed? What's going on with black turtle and blue turtle?
And he like,
Goon's
And he like calls them out. He's like, yeah, I bet you have a small fucking banana. And it's like, he's straight up making dick jokes like left and right. And it's only for one scene. And then they like play on that later on, but they just go really hard in one scene and they cut it out in the anime. And it's like, I get it. I'm sad, but I get it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I've also enjoyed about like reading through manga and stuff. Is you get those. Oh, there's also a scene where villains are literally Starbucks drinks.
Yeah, Tal Grande and Venti are the names of 3 villains that show up and then are immediately defeated. But yeah,
It keeps going. So,
Well, no,
the
I think
memes
the best
exist.
part is their boss's name is Paul.
Oh yeah, the three most powerful of their race: Baylord Yama, Baylord Doom, and Baylord Paul.
And
Okay, I might
Paul's
have to read it
3
earlier.
main henchmen are Tall, Grande, and Venti.
Yeah, it is absolutely like they walk a very good line between like funny and like lighthearted and serious and action. So like it's very good.
That's dope.
and that's you know
Yeah,
you can get those
SIU has honestly, in my opinion, written the masterclass on how not to take your content too seriously,
Mhm.
but to also be able to hold a very serious tone when you want to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm sorry, when you can make that much of a pop culture reference and it still makes sense and you can still make it into a into a serious character when you need them to be, good enough for me, right? Like
Well, it's
I
like
think- Go ahead.
it's just, I was gonna say like right now, like the moment that we're stopped at is like very serious. But 2 chapters before they were making Catboy jokes, like
That's dope.
because
Okay, I might have to read a little bit earlier. I'm gonna give it to fall. You know, fall they slap us with anime. So
I want to
hopefully.
point out too. There's another like you need to show them the Hell Train meme.
oh my
Because, like,
god, the Hell Train
Season 1 is
No.
like what, 74 chapters.
73.
76 actually, but that's just semantics.
I was
Um,
just
Season 2 is 300 plus chapters.
And how many of those are the Hell Train?
Easily 140 of them.
At
my
least
God.
I'm pretty sure it's at least 200.
That's why I said 140 of them minimum.
Yeah, no, it is
So-
like you start the Hell Train and you're like, okay, so we're starting the next arc, and then the Hell Train is the next 5 arcs. Like
Oh my
it is,
God.
it's really funny just because you're just like,
It's
how have
one
we been in this
really
fucking
big
train?
arc with a bunch of self-contained ones,
It
and
because
It's fantastic.
they're using the train as like a format to go to other floors. So it's like this is the Hell Train, and this is this floor during the Hell Train, and then we're back on the train and we're going again.
Oh,
like
no.
it runs forever. It's very funny though. I love it.
So in that context, I guess I was specifically getting to the fact that like anime
me
has
go find the
both
Hell
pop
Train meme.
culture references,
Mhm.
but also the fact that like there's some stuff that's just really long. Like
Yeah.
like I can't get into One Piece at this point. It's too long. I just
It's a ride. One Piece is like that MMO that you pick up and you play for a while and you put it down when another game comes out and then you pick it up. Like One Piece is literally my lull period. Like
really
You're
Yeah,
like, I
'cause
have
it-
nothing to watch. I'm just gonna go binge One Piece for a bit.
and then I enjoy it and then I forget about it and then I like go do something else. I come back and I enjoy it and I forget about it and come back.
That's
like,
a good way to
alright.
do it. See, that's fairy
Yeah.
tale for me. Like
Yeah.
there's not as many episodes, but I'm on hiatus from it right now. There's another 100 episodes for me to watch. I'll get to it one day.
One Piece is like that meal, like that food that you say is good. It's not your favorite food, but you like to eat it a lot. But you know, if you eat it too much, it's just going to become bland. And you don't want it anymore. So you kind of take a break and you come back and it's like, oh, this is the best food ever. Okay, I'm tired of it. Let's go eat something else. Like that's One Piece. You know,
It's like candy corn at Halloween. You're like, oh, candy corn's not that bad. And you have like one of them. You're like, yeah, I can have 2 more, and then you're done. And you never want to see candy
Panini.
corn ever again. And it's suddenly
God.
the worst thing that's ever existed.
yeah.
yeah,
I have so
unironically
much respect for
like
One
candy
Piece.
corn,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
only for 3 days of the year.
Yeah, but like it's almost like how can you not have respect for that?
Dude, the fact that
You
he's been
know?
writing so long and has
Right?
kept
That
so
gives me
many people
hope for
captivated.
everything
Like,
else. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that gives me so
Oda-
much hope.
I think Oda is the greatest storyteller that we have seen in the modern generation that people have picked up. Like, I'm sorry, One Piece should not be nearly as good as it is. And it shouldn't have been nearly as good as it is for 20 consecutive years.
Isn't it like
Yeah, I
25 years
agree.
old now?
I
let me
think
see.
we're
It's old.
burgeoning on that point, but we're not quite there.
Okay,
It's-
I know they did the 20th anniversary like dirt in the anime.
But it's like, how in the heck can you write something and like,
97.
have something have
97. So yeah, like
content that long?
next year.
That's
Yeah.
even interesting.
Next year it'll be 25 years old. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think about July of next year.
Mm.
I have to. I just had it open and then closed it because I was like,
I'm-
it's fine.
But it's
Yeah,
so it's
July
like
of '97.
they just keep going. They haven't stopped. Like they keep pushing out manga. They keep pushing out anime. It never ends.
It's a
Well,
classic. It's one of the classic shows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And you have
But
like
I mean-
love it or hate it, you have to respect it.
yeah.
And the
only
thing
thing
that
I
I'm always
can't
impressed
stand about
about-
it is
Go
the
ahead.
fact that I can't. Sorry, is the fact that anytime I take a break from it and I go to Crunchyroll, let's say Crunchyroll to watch it, I can never find out where the freak I am. Like it's just like thousands of episodes.
Yeah.
Like what?
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
No,
My
Being
I say a
being
lot
hurt
of
with
bad
the
things about
manga
One Piece, but I
hurts way
respect it.
less.
my thing is like they've been going that long. You have to realize that like either he planned it to be that long from the beginning
No.
or he's just that good. You know what I mean? Like
Literally-
there's only one of two ways.
2 years
that you can
was
make
it 2
that go
years
that
ago,
far.
Tim?
He has on multiple occasions said that One Piece was never meant to go as long as it has.
Well, no,
How
like
old is
two,
he now?
like 2 years ago, he said, "I finally fucking figured it out. I know how we're ending it. Like, I have the path in my head. I have it like storyboarded, basically, but it's still gonna take another 3 to 5 years. But I know where it's ending. Like, there was an entire news article that came out. It fucking made major headlines. He's like, I know how I'm going to end it. Like,
He just kept bullshitting for 18 years.
and people
people
love
kept
it.
Sucking it up. That's the thing. I'm sorry. If you can do that and you're just what can I pull out of my brain for the next 2 months to write about for these characters is enough to captivate people for almost 25 years, obviously you can tell a hell of a story.
I was gonna get into the point is like we have like the other legendary authors of like our generation, like the previous generation, being like Tolkien, Frank Herbert, like these stories that are like everlasting, and you realize that
George
they
Orwell.
built those stories like from a world that they built before they wrote the story. Like a lot of the
Yeah,
legendary pieces that we read and these stories that we have are like from things that were already established when the person went, now I'm writing a story in the entire piece. But like
Well,
Oda and
Tolkien wrote a language, and then because he wrote a language, he was like, "Well, now I have to have a story for it." Fuck. and then he wrote what has become one of the greatest worlds and stories of all time. Like,
That's even being referenced in other great stories.
yeah.
Like the Elven language that he wrote is being used across like so many fantasies.
He created like the
Well-respected
baseline
stuff.
fantasy world. Like everywhere you go now, you're getting a fantasy world that is based off of Tolkien. Nobody really had orcs and elves and dwarves and shit all in a single world. He was the first person to really do that.
And
So-
that's what like for me, I look at Oda in a very similar light. Not I don't put him on that same shelf. But the story of One Piece, and if you are current with the manga, has been a hell of a roller coaster. And it brings me back every single week, which is why I don't watch the anime anymore. Like just his writing is good enough to keep me so enthralled that when it hits to be noon or 1 p.m. on a Sunday, when I know that I can go onto Manga Plus and go, One Piece. That's where I'm starting today. Because everyone else is going to disappoint me if I start with it or if I end with it. But here we go. So if I start with it, I know I'm going to be disappointed the rest of the time. But if I end with it,
You're always looking
I'm
forward
just
to
going to be
something.
disappointed by everything I read before it.
Yeah.
I am also on that same note, I guess. Let's like kind of transition that for a moment. I'm also now thoroughly impressed with the amount of good stuff we're getting consistently.
Oh yeah, no, it's insane.
Like we've kind of referenced this before, but like,
Have you heard about my new favorite anime?
oh no.
It's
Which
time to
one?
talk about.
It's time to
This-
talk about the best anime ever made.
Oh no.
Okay.
I think it's one of my favorites of this year and probably last year.
Okay, so have you ever heard of Konosuba? Okay.
Yes.
Have you watched Konosuba?
Yes.
Okay. So This is a show. It's from the same guy who wrote Konosuba, so it has the same exact tone of like stupidity that you haven't seen, but like it's called Combatants Will Be Dispatched, and it is beyond stupid.
I watched one episode and I was like, did we just turn on Konosuba but not Isekai this time? But also Isekai?
Well,
Wow.
it's so great. Like the first episode, he like shows up and there's these two girls and they're like explaining to him, he's like, we're gonna have to send you on a mission. Me, like Ice Princess whatever, and her Fire Princess whatever. And he's like, guys, I know you're from middle school. Can you like calm down with like the name thing and like what's up with the cosplay? Like why are you dressed like that? Why are we doing this here? Like just completely calling it out. I was like, well, you know what? Fuck you, we're sending you to another planet. And he just randomly just gets thrown into another planet dealing with their entire culture, and he is an absolute asshole. Because they're walking through and they're like, this is our monument. And it's like, okay, well that's a tank. So like, why is there a tank here? Now we need to figure this out. And then they're like, this is our ancient artifact that makes it rain when we pray to it. And they're like, oh, this is just like a cube of technology. We can fix it. And they fix it. And they're like, all right, we need a new password. And he's like, wait, you need to trust me on this. The password is Dick Festival. And then they're like, okay, so why did you do that? He's like, well, you see, every year they have to hold an entire like ceremony where the princess in front of thousands of people has to say this word. So the princess is going to be in front of everybody and she's going to say Dick Festival. That's hilarious.
Not too far from home. There's actually a dick festival. There's actually a penis
And that's the
festival.
whole point of that reference. That's the
Yeah.
best part.
It's the whole show, and they play off of all the Konosuba stuff, so they have like an explosion meme. The second episode just came out, and they introduced the other characters. One of them is in a wheelchair because she accidentally cursed herself, where she's not allowed to wear shoes. It is.
Wait,
I don't remember stuttering, but yeah,
Just send me the name. Just DM me the name.
yeah. It is-
Combatants Will
it
Be
is-
Dispatched. It's on Funimation.
Mhm.
Oh, it's a
It's-
Funimation. Okay.
Honestly,
that's the
that
hard
show
part.
alone is
What is it
enough to
called again?
validate me paying for Funimation.
Combatants
What's it
Will
called
Be
again?
Dispatched.
Oh, Combatants Will Be Dispatched. Okay.
It is. It is definitely like my favorite show that I'm watching right now. It's so stupid.
so real quick, because I know we kind of like shit on it in concept when we were talking about like this coming season and everything.
Mm,
I am surprised, and I mentioned this to you. I am surprised at the concept of 86.
still not.
I thought it was going to be basic ass Hunger Games, and it is still Hunger Games ish, but also not at all because of the way they've set up main character interacting with the system. So we'll see how it goes. I'm just more interested than I thought I was going to be originally. That's enough that I'll say about that, because it's not like one of those like, oh my god, I have to watch this every week, but it's one of those, okay, that's more interesting than I thought it was going to be. So let's see
Just
where
wanna
it
see where
goes.
it goes. Yeah.
Hey, wow. It's like there's always that one show a season that one of us watches and is like, okay, I think I'm gonna continue to give this a fair shake because I'm just interested enough.
See, I'm
Because-
just hoping it doesn't turn into Gibiate.
Well, so to be fair, I've also heard from Cherry that like it was better done than he expected. So I might have to give it a try now that two people have told me that it's decent.
Yeah.
So when are you giving Million Lives a try? Because two people told you that one was decent in a different episode.
I gave Million Lives a try.
You did not give it enough of a try.
It's okay. I feel the same way about Black Clover.
I
no,
didn't
no,
finish
no.
the first episode of Black Clover, honestly. Like
I
You're preaching
tried.
to the choir.
The
I
only reason
tried
I'm still
hard.
current with Black Clover is because I am still current with Black Clover, and like not because I theoretically enjoy Black Clover every single episode. It's just
Okay.
because I'm already here.
Oh no!
So-
Here's the worst one. Fairy Tale. I don't care who you are. I cannot. I tried.
you know what?
Literally gave it a college try. Like sat down. I drank coffee. I still fell asleep.
You know
why
what?
People call that one of the best. I'm
You,
like, why?
you know what?
No.
I know Fairy Tale is trash. It's one of the worst shows I've ever seen, but I enjoy that level of trash.
Why?
Because
That's
I can
Seven
turn my
Deadly
brain
Sins.
off.
Yeah.
I can
Oh,
turn my brain
oh,
off and
Seven
just be like,
Deadly Sins.
nice.
If I ever hear someone say that had the best fight scenes, you don't know.
I don't know who said that to you, but I would
Tim's
not-
looking really offended. Tim, to your corner.
Did you see the
Oh, no,
TikTok
no.
meme somebody did with the
I-
two people that stood still and spin around in a circle and just like duck?
I adore Fairy Tale. because I'm well aware of how fucking bad it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that I feel like that's a common like Fairy Tail is our guilty pleasure anime. Like we
Yeah.
know it's bad and we're
Yeah,
embarrassed
sure.
that we watch
Oh,
it, but
so
we
it's like
still
something you
do.
shit on. Okay, I
Yeah.
got
Yeah,
you.
Like,
Yeah,
so
like,
we had this
I will
reference the other day.
admit that me liking Fairy Tail makes me that weeb. But
Oh,
if I am willing to acknowledge that it is not good, the fights are pretty shit. The character writing is absolutely terrible
Yep.
at best on a good day. But I can just find enjoyment in the stupidity of it, then that's good enough for me. Like, that's how I feel about a lot of the ecchi trash that I watch too. I am well aware that it is garbage, and no one should actually consume that content. But because I've accepted that it's trash, and I look at, I'm well aware of how bad it is, I just accept whatever I'm getting.
Yep.
And try and find the silver lining around that cloud of very black, very bad. It's not good.
So
That's a dumpster.
In
It's on
regards to Fairy Tail, there are like 4 moments, like 4 in that show that I'm like, I actually had an emotional hype reaction to it, and that's it. In 400 something episodes,
the credits.
like it's not
and was the reaction, thank God.
The open.
Wait,
Okay, the
no.
opening, the ending.
The opening emotional
first
reaction.
opening.
All this again.
the first
the first
opening.
opening, like when I was 3 episodes in, and I was like, okay, I kind of like the characters, but also I was 15, so
Yep.
I was kind of a
I
shithead.
remember being young.
I was 17.
I was 16.
I
I'm
think it was, like,
sandwiched.
the 4th ending was pretty good. I don't remember.
Yep.
It's all kind of a blur. It's just all on fire and very bad, but it's like trying to pick out. The
There were
highlight moments.
dragons at one point.
I was gonna say, literally, when Natsu was doing Fire Dragon King shit, which was just cool because the soundtrack was there, and then Makarov versus whatever his name when he does Fairy Law for the first time, because I have a hard on for organs, and like church organs
Like-
being
like-
badass church
like
organs with a
skin?
dope ass soundtrack.
Oh, yeah, I thought he meant like body parts.
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
was
no,
like, you mean like skin? Like,
I was like,
no.
okay.
oh man, give me them
Just
fucking
church-
kidneys.
Just really big pipe organs. You know when like you just
Yeah.
have that like sounds like you're in a cathedral.
The
and-
esophagus, got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. I got you.
that.
I'm
But,
a,
like,
I'm a
that's it.
sucker for that. I'm a sucker for like hype soundtracks, and
Yeah.
especially classical slaps. Like I love it. All
Yeah.
right, I'll throw a wrench in here. Since this is for Tim, I guess. School Days.
It's not me.
Have you seen it? All the way
I
through.
have seen it. Still not me.
What a messed up.
Okay.
That was like, all right. I was like, all right. So I just got married to my wife. I said, all right, you have to watch School Days. She likes, she likes this isekais. She loves them. And she was like, okay. She's like, I freaking hate this main character. Am I gonna really hate him? I was like, no. So she got to the end. She was like, what the hell did you make me watch? I was like, I'm sorry. I'll never do it again.
On
Yeah,
other notes of
I can't ever recommend School Days to any
Have
human
you guys
being
watched
ever.
School Days?
no.
I'm looking
gotta
it
watch
up. I'm looking it up right
You gotta
now.
watch it.
'cause
Do
it's-
not spoil anything. Tim.
Don't-
You gotta watch it.
Oh, okay.
I gotta watch
I
Patreon
just pulled
content.
up the My Anime List page and I shut it down just for you. What's it on? Where do I burn my eyeballs off? Is this a crunchy thing?
Is it still on Crunchyroll? I think it's
I'm
still
pretty
on
sure
Crunchyroll.
If it was on there at one point, I'm sure it's still there because Crunchy really doesn't lapse their ownership ever.
I don't.
I-
Yeah,
I
No,
unless-
they
unless
pay
Funimation
good
rips it.
money to keep everything.
The only
So-
the only like ownership lapse I've ever seen is Baccano. Thanks Funimation. Now we can only pirate it.
and Promise Neverland because Funimation was just like scoop. So
Oh
it
yeah,
hasn't-
actually.
It hasn't hit Crunchyroll.
You know what?
Real
Nate?
quick,
I
real
just
quick
found
on
School Days for you. There you go.
send it to me.
You can fucking suffer with me.
Oh,
Um,
damn it, you guys are watching.
Okay.
on one last fun big like controversial anime note, and we said this the other day when we were talking about like greatest anime, and we were talking about like the big 3, what are the next big 3, like what are the most like historical anime stuff.
hmm
Sword Art Online is unironically hyper important to anime, even if it's not the best.
Which one?
Well,
The real
so here's the thing.
The first one. The
We-
first season.
so we made the argument. Actually, I made the argument last week because we were talking about like what's really important to like
Oh,
this
like
generation.
Trendsetters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like,
yeah.
Sword Art Online came out in like 2012 and kicked off this entire generation of like
What
isekai.
is Sword Art Online though?
because
don't know.
Sword Art I feel like was the most popular one
Yeah,
that
the
went
most notable one, right?
exactly,
But I
and
think
so
there's stuff
because of
before
that, like there's definitely Isekai before that, but I feel like Sword Art's the one that really just hit it, and it also brought
You
a
know
lot of
why?
people that like weren't into anime into that.
all the
area.
MMOs, dude.
Yep.
Every
Yep, all
last
the
one of
MMOs.
them. It was
Yep.
so
Mhm.
relatable. Whenever
And
you say
so-
MMO
yep.
genre, I was done. I was sold. And then they came out with season 2.
Yeah, but we don't talk about season
No,
2.
we're talking about season two.
Now,
love-
I will
I-
tell you,
I
I,
like season
did
3.
like season 3.
Yeah.
No. Not Gun Gale, but season 3.
Okay, fair.
Gun
fair.
Gale was okay. But season 3, I could be wrong with the numbers because they have so many damn shows now. The one with the girl, I'm not spoiling, but the girl that had the
Alicization,
problem.
that just
Was
came
that
out,
season
like, a
3?
year
Are you talking about the girl that died?
Oh, okay, he just ruined it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was first of all, that was Mother's Rosario. That was part of season 2, and yes, that's the
That
best
was
story that Sword Art's
Second
told.
part. I liked that. I was
Absolutely
like in touch
amazing.
with it. I felt emotional. I was like, okay, they're bringing it back.
I would like to
That's
point
great.
out again, and this is like from me watching the latest season of Alicization. Alicization is probably the second best story that Sword Art.
What? Okay, I have to watch it now.
It
'cause
is-
I
it is-
watched the
it's
beginning.
not-
I was
Well,
so
so
like,
here's the thing is so Sword Art Online, when it was first written, it was written a long time ago, and he was really young and also really shit at writing.
the first Sword Art Online.
Like
That was dope.
no,
The first
don't
season was
worry,
dope.
don't worry, that's good. But like the original like writing for it was
Oh, I get
very
you.
raw and very rough.
Okay, okay.
So like even right now he's going back and remaking the original Sword Art and Sword Art Online Progressive, which is like one book per level of Aincrad, which is really cool.
Sick.
But
Okay.
so he took like Alicization, like the beginning is really bad. Don't get me started. I know that. But like that is definitely him showing like I've learned how to write in all of this time. Like I've gotten
All right,
better.
so what episode does it get better? Because
Let me go look because I can find it.
I think I
about
got to
what it
episode
is.
5, and I was like, yeah, done.
I
I'm
think
really
it's around-
confused.
It's around 12. It's around
12,
like, the
12 or
middle.
Okay,
13.
alright.
It takes a heavy dip. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's
the
a
opening was one of the worst openings I've ever seen in my life. Okay, like let's chop this wood together, baby. Like what is going on for
so
you?
I'll be real with you. I did read the light novel for Alicization. I skipped so much of that beginning part. Like
Wrong?
it
Were
was-
they chopping a tree at some point? Like I was just like, what is this?
I
So-
They were like
what he
kids.
tried
And they were
to
you
do-
were
chopping
right. No,
trees.
you're right. Like I skipped that entire like prequel part because you really didn't need it. Like it's so
We're rolling in the
self-explanatory
grass.
later on. Like
TLDR, I think what they were trying to do is be like, oh look, like
The
Kirito's had to
friend-
regrow up as like another human being again with his best
No.
friend. And it's like you didn't need that.
No,
You could have skipped it.
yeah,
But,
we
like-
we saw him grow up with all the death and shit happened in the first one.
Yeah.
in the second, in the third.
I think the main point of that is just so that later on they can be like, I thought he was signing up to go in for like a couple hours on a weekend. It's like, oh well, we actually kept him there for like 12 years of his life, but didn't tell him because we erased his memory of it.
Oh, okay.
No, it's
That's-
no, it's like the
That
reveal
is
a
of what
bit more
happened with that
interesting
and
than
why.
chopping wood.
Yeah,
Well, right.
like
So like what you learn in that little section, spoilers, even though it's been out for like almost a year and a half now, is Kirito almost dies. They have to put him inside the nerve gear, but they have to erase his memories and reset his
Where
brain.
the hell is
basically.
the?
they
in
did not. They
between
didn't
with
erase
that,
his
though?
memory. They erased his memories when they were testing, and it's not nerve gear. It's a different full dive that uses your soul.
what I'm
What?
Yeah, no, don't.
Where
It
the
gets
hell is this
really,
coming
it
at,
gets
though?
really sci-fi bullshitty. Like
I
so.
watched the episode leading to this, and I didn't see any of this.
So
shit. Like,
because
where did-
They don't talk
because
about it
he was
until
the
just
guy
before.
Oh, they
because he
can't do
was
that.
that guy from the first VR MMO, a company reached out to him and was like, "Will you test our like soul reading VR stuff?" And so like all of the AI are also like souls of fake people because they just took people, had them have sex in VR, give birth to children in VR, and then like raised those VR children so that they could have AI. Like it's really weird.
This is why people poop on Sword Art Online. Like good
It's,
lord.
oh no,
Like,
it's,
but the
I'm
moment
not
you get
arguing.
past that first section, like the consequences of those things make sense, and like that's when the story gets actually interesting. Because up until that point, it's kind of being like, look, like this is what happens when you have actual functional AI that are built on a concept of an actual soul that are independent.
Oh, I got you.
So like that's when it gets interesting. So like it's the best storytelling it's done since Mother Rosario.
But
because that's
so-
when it gets deep into it.
Animes like Sword Art Online helped pave the way for shows like Full Dive. This ultimate next gen Full Dive RPG is even shittier than real life. which is a real show that aired this week, and I watched, and my God, it's so much better than I ever expected.
Oh wow. Okay.
Anyway, that was my whole point. Was like there's stuff back then that people hate on that actually matters.
You're right though. You're right. It did set a trend, and I mean, Log Horizon came out like right after that, and Log Horizon's like godlike to me. And then
It's amazing.
Overlord.
Oh,
love it.
dude.
Even though the
love it.
animation wasn't straight.
I mean, it was one episode. It was a couple episodes. 3D's bad.
That is more. Yeah, the fight, whatever, the animation. The story was great. Like like everything dealing up to that, I loved it. I think it was wonderful, wonderful build up. But Log Horizon, I love Log Horizon, but I would have to say I don't give a shit about the new one.
I fell off halfway through. I was so invested. I was so invested in like the voting and the political stuff, and then the moment that the voting ended, I was like, okay, I don't care anymore.
I walked out with them. I really did.
Like, it's the worst thing to get hung up on too. Is like, I'm so into this election.
Yeah, I've seen a couple or quite a few opinion pieces at this point that are like, wow, I was so excited for Log Horizon Season 3. It was the only thing on my watch list. And how the fuck did we get here?
I don't know what happened. I was like, what? I was like asking so many questions, and I was revisiting my mind, and I was like, maybe I should watch it again. And I was like, no, the hype is gone.
Yeah, it kind of lost me, and I'm sad too. Like,
you know why? I think we grew past whatever Log Horizon tried to do.
Yeah,
it's like they tried to stay on that whatever it was seasons and seasons and years ago.
It's kind of like it's kind of like when Attack on Titan season 2 came out, like. Because like Attack on Titan season 2 is all world building, but people like wanted more story because it'd been 4 years since we got anime, and there was very little story progression in season 2. So everyone's like, I don't give a shit. Like I'm done. I'm out. I don't need to be here anymore. So
I dropped AOT the first time during I finished season 2, and I was like, I am not giving them another minute of my watch time. I'm done. This is bullshit. Like.
But then season 3
with season 3.
And then I skimmed season 3.
Those seasons were rough.
And then I stopped watching season 4 halfway through.
Tragedy.
There's just the thing that makes all of this okay, quote unquote, is that we're also getting so much other good stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff happens.
Yeah.
Like, I was not expecting shows like Tonikawa or Misfit at Demon King Academy to be what they were. And so I had other stuff on my radar, and that kind of got disappointing. And then those two shows were like, oh my God, I don't care about anything else this season. I have my serotonin and I have my One Punch Man fantasy world.
Yeah, it's almost, oh my God, let's not even bring One Punch Man. Season 2 is, anyway.
No. Wait, I've only ever seen One Punch season.
There was only one season of One Punch Man.
You're right. What am I talking about? Woof.
Yeah, it must have been like a fan season or something weird. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what the hell that was. The artist wasn't even. Anyway, he knew. He backed. He was like, I ain't doing it. But no, you're right. It's like we talked about it briefly. Put all my points in defense. Like if I ever read that title or seen that, I would have never watched it. But holy God, I love it. It was like one of my favorites ever, and I'm waiting for them to do something else with it. Hopefully, they do something.
Yeah, I still need to watch it. It's still on my list, and we talk. I know I'm the worst, right? So, I'm a piece of
Frank. Let me give a little bit of context. I watched that show just before we started recording this podcast. So like way back in April of last year when it came out. I was watching it concurrently from like episode 8 on. I found it by accident on Hulu. And I was like, okay, this is fucking adorable. It's hilarious. Maple is one of like my favorite characters of all time in an isekai. And I kind of just didn't bring it up to the boys for a while, and I was like, I'll get to it at some point. I don't let's see how we'll parse it out, and then the seasons got really good.
She's actually one of the main characters that you like from start to finish of the season. Like, oh my goodness, it's so good. Just her attitude about stuff. She's so clueless.
Like, you guys definitely need to watch. I slayed slimes for 300 years and accidentally maxed out my level. Because
I feel like it's gonna carry a very similar energy.
Same energy.
The energy is basically the opening scene is she literally falls over and dies, and there's an angel's like, yeah, you literally died from overworking. He's like, okay, well, I want to make me live forever, make me super pretty, and just make it so I don't have to do work. And he's like, okay, live in a house on the countryside forever. And she's like, okay. She like signs up with the guild. She just walks into town. While she's walking in, she just kills a couple slimes every day. Then she just goes home. She helps people out every once in a while, becomes like a local legend. And then one day she goes in and is like, hey, you should check and see what your level is. And she checks it and it's maxed out. And she's like, all right, don't you fucking dare tell anybody. Nobody's allowed to know about this because otherwise I'm going to have to deal with people. And then the rest of the episode is like a bunch of adventurers show up and they're like, we're going to fight you because we need to be the strongest. He's like, I'm not strong. Please leave me alone. I'm not very good.
Oh my god! If you love that, you will love put all your points in defense. You're gonna.
See. The thing is, I know I'll love it. I know I'll love it.
God,
also, Tim, she gets a dragon maid.
She does get a dragon maid.
Kobayashi's is coming back. That's another show that I will simp for 100% of the time. Kobayashi's
We
Dragon
were
Maid.
supposed to watch all of Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid in Discord yesterday, but Paul fell asleep.
I fell asleep for 4 hours.
We blame Paul for everything.
Well, no, okay, the entire idea was Paul's never seen it before, so we were going to watch it with him, and everybody else had seen it. But then instead, we just sat in Discord and watched everything, and when we ran out, I was like, all right, congratulations, you activated my trap card and started watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I tricked them into half an episode before they left.
Yeah, Nate's the group JoJo's simp.
I simp enough for all of us.
He's the only one. It's fine. He's the only one who needs to be simping for JoJo.
I have seen all of JoJo's now,
Oh, you have?
and
Oh, great.
yeah, I'm current. It's just it is not my favorite show, but I understand why you love it. That's my
It has
thing.
its moments for sure, but yeah.
Listen,
I am
it's just
here for-
ridiculous and stupid and fun. Like,
I
I
am
just
here
like
for
the
the
random
memes.
English in it.
I'm here for the memes.
dude, right?
All I'm here for is the memes that's like the TikTok JoJo's memes are
Yeah,
fantastic.
be careful. I do have a 77-page PowerPoint presentation about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Oh wow!
Yep.
I have also
I have
owned
been
this
through that
presentation.
PowerPoint 4
I have a
times.
copy of it.
I have been through the presentation
I
on
have
stream.
used that presentation.
You
Oh,
have.
I have. I convinced all of my housemates to let me give that presentation to them. And then I made them still watch season 1 and season 2 of JoJo's.
Listen, there's a reason that people skip season 1.
I watched it
It's-
and I was kind of done.
Listen, I have never, ever before watched a show, and never since, where I watched the first episode and literally said to myself out loud, if the second episode is like this is the single worst show I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's never
so
happened to me before.
ridiculous.
It's never happened since, but man, I love JoJo's.
I was like, man, I just want whatever he was on when he made this. Cause what in the heck?
Dude, he doesn't even remember how to draw like the original style that he drew in. It's crazy. Yeah.
Unpopular
Oh, my
opinion shows Resurrected as a Slime. The ending was horrible, in my opinion. It was started off as one thing, ended as something. I know, unpopular opinion. Second one, Shield Hero. Hated it.
Really?
You know
Yep,
what?
Like the
I
beginning.
can respect the
up
Shield
to the
Hero
bitch
take.
I can
part,
respect the
and then
Shield
hated
Hero.
it.
The slime one, we're just gonna have to disagree about, because like Slime Sky is peak
Slime
isekai.
turned into something completely different. Like, I want to say, what, the last 3 episodes, I was just like, why? There's so much more interesting shit I need to know about. Why are you doing this to me? Like, I want to know more.
So the light novel does a lot of that
too.
too.
Yeah,
The
if
light
it's set
novel
up-
does a lot of it. Yeah. Well, so one of our friends who's like with us, plays Among Us with us and does our watch parties. He like is a light novel fiend. So like everything you've ever seen that has a light novel, he's read. So when we finished the episodes, he was like, okay, here's what the light novel missed, and breaks down like the whole thing. So like there's a whole lot of information about what,
Okay.
why, how, like that it just doesn't cover. There's a whole bunch of parts that skip.
Yeah, and so like especially have you watched the second season of Slime?
No, because I was afraid.
Okay.
I'm so afraid.
I think
I
it's
don't
Not
like
to the point of being ruined for me. It's just like, I don't like how you ended this. There's way more interesting stuff you should have gave me. But I was like, is it gonna be Log Horizon again? Like,
they
so I
they
got
kind
really-
of like they scale up the world a whole lot because you're not really dealing with threats inside the forest anymore because now they own the forest. They're more dealing with like
international.
international threats. Like,
Oh gosh.
so like they're
You start
dealing with like
other demon lords.
other kingdoms, other demon lords.
All right, good, because they had all this damn cool ass demon lords, and I was like, where are they at?
Yep,
We crushed
that's
it.
all season 2.
We didn't even crush
all
them. We
season
See-
converted one. Like, I
Season
don't know.
2, it definitely like picks up and is like, okay.
Okay.
And like it doesn't go really in depth with the demon lords. I'm gonna tell you right now so you don't get excited about that. But it definitely shows you at the end of it. It's like literally the second half of the season, because it's not over. We're getting more episodes in June.
Okay.
Is going to heavy, like it's going to be there.
I'll wait
so-
till June.
That's
Watch
wait
it.
till
Yeah,
June.
I was gonna say
Would
wait,
not-
wait until the second season
Yeah.
is like either
close to done or done.
like the second half of the season is started, or until like we're maybe a good distance into that, because
Yeah.
then you'll actually get to enjoy season
Okay,
2.
good.
Like
Because I
have put
loved
season
it
2
up into
down.
the last 3.
Mhm.
just couldn't do
I
it.
put season 2 down because I was like, I have read this section of the light novel. I know where this is going. We're not there yet. I'm disappointed. I just want to get there. And when I get there, I will go back and I will rewatch all of the stuff that makes me sad right now. And I will suffer through it because I know that the stuff that's coming is chef's
Okay.
kiss.
All right. That
Yeah.
that convinced me to give it another try.
So just wait till June. Like
Mhm.
Okay.
I watched through it just because I was current and I was like, I'm here and I haven't read anything, so I don't know better. And like it hits like a
Okay.
little truck. Like it's probably the most difficult.
It hits
section
like
of
an
to get
isekai
through.
truck.
It hits like it.
Oh, by the way,
Truck-kun will
speaking,
hit diff.
Often.
yeah, Truck-kun hits differently. So we were saying this before, right? So trucks send you into a parallel universe. I believe we have deduced that trains send you back in time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, did anybody
Tokyo
here watch
Revengers.
Tokyo Revengers? It is. I was watching it, and through the first half of it, I was like, I think this is erased with extra steps. And then when I got to the end, I realized it was erased without the extra steps. It's just erased.
Oh. I love Erased though.
Oh no, Erased is great. So it's a different take on Erased. So I'm about it. I'm very excited to see where it goes, because if it just follows the path of like I'm trying to fix what I fucked up in my life because I became a failure, then I'm gonna be really interested in it. And the way that it, like the first episode ended, like a character walked up, he's like, "Right, so here's the deal. You definitely traveled through time. So we're gonna make this work." So,
It was you traveled through time. Things may not have worked out the way that we all thought they would have worked out, but we're gonna fix it.
You didn't fix it perfectly, but you started to fix it. So now that we know that it works, we're gonna make it happen.
It's such an interesting concept. It makes
You know,
me happy.
speaking of Truck-kun hitting different, and I'm gonna take this back just a sec. Frank, did you watch Mushoku Tensei: Jobless Reincarnation?
I don't think so. I think it was on our list to watch. We have not
Ooh.
watched.
I
That-
highly recommend that you push it all the way to the top because myself, I think actually all three of us,
I haven't seen
and
it.
then pretty much everyone that's seen it agrees that it is the isekai masterclass.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay, I need
like
to
It is
list.
also
Make
the
sure you guys send
grandfather
me
of
a list.
Isekai. It is
Send
the
me the list.
grandfather.
we
of Isekai.
will okay. So what do we got to put on this list? We got to put jobless reincarnation. Combatants will
Yep.
be dispatched.
Yes.
Give me a sec. Actually, Suppose Kid from the Last Dungeon Boonies is a very funny. It's just a good comedy version of One Punch, but like
Okay.
toned down a lot. So imagine Saitama didn't realize he was good at anything, and was just transported to the weakest place in the entire nation, and
Uh.
everyone. He grew up thinking that he was the weakest because he was the weakest in his home village, but his home village is where the max level adventurers
top,
go
yeah.
to grind.
Okay.
loot.
Okay. Yeah. I'll take that. That's good.
That'll be good too.
Oh,
I-
have
I'd
you
have to
guys
look.
seen? Oh my God, what was it? I just lost it. Like, oh, Mob Psycho is like one of my
Oh
favorites.
yes. God, yes.
Period. God, what a
I've
masterpiece.
I've rewatched Mob twice.
I've rewatched Bob almost.
Yeah, that was
After
one
finishing
anime that made me
Right.
stand up out my seat, like, and
Hold
I
on.
was like, gosh, like, oh my God.
Nate, I know you watched it. Tim, I don't know if you saw it from this season. Don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro.
Oh, no. I
Don't
have
mess with me,
read-
Nagatoro-san.
Yes. Highly recommend.
I-
That one's fire.
It kills me, but I love
It
it.
irks me so badly. Like I'm like watching it and I'm like, oh, that hurts. Oh, this is so good. Ah. the whole time.
It's like the only time you want to cringe and enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
It's,
yeah,
it's
put it on the
weird
list.
because I hate that usually, but I like it's
Yes.
the entire thing is there's this guy, he's a second year in high school and he's super shut in. He doesn't talk to anybody, but he like writes his own manga and stuff. He just kind of chills out. Usually gets bullied, but like turns a blind eye to it. And then there's a first year girl who just basically loves messing with him. And she is really mean to him. Like she bullies the
But it's
shit
like-
out of him.
But it is 100% like flirty. I'm trying
yeah,
to be
yeah.
seductively flirty mean the whole time.
No,
Okay.
but it's
doesn't
not
know
though
where the
because
line
she
is.
she doesn't know anything yet. Like she literally like pushes him into a fucking river at one point, and is like, eh.
She's like, oops.
She's like trying to figure out like
Wait a
what's
minute, I feel
what's
like I've
good enough
seen
for
that
him to
already.
notice me, but not enough for him to friend zone me.
I
It's
think I did see that.
it's one of the
actually.
manga that's had a really
The river
big
part is
following
very
online.
Big. It's a very big part of it. Yeah, I think I did see this. Yeah. I think I did see it. I think I did.
It's
see
so
it.
good.
Yeah, I do
Um,
like it.
Okay.
Have
also,
you seen Cells at Work?
Yes. I'm
have you
actually
seen
making my
Code
way
Black?
through it.
have you seen
what?
Code Black?
Cells
Have
at
you
work,
seen Cells
Code
at
Black.
Work? Black.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Real
was gonna say
quick.
if you haven't, fuck regular Cells at Work. Cells at Work Code Black is just objectively better.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant there's a Code Black anime too. So I thought you meant
No, Cells at Work
Okay.
Code Black is is the
Oh.
flip version where the body's not healthy and it's a
Oh
whole thing.
snap! Okay, I need to see that.
It's the
Imagine
the guy
a
who
20
just drinks,
imagine
smokes.
20-year-old you in college, and all of the shit you pulled.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's that.
after living
It's
it.
that, but they also
No.
add old age onto it. So like it's
Sick,
it's
okay.
like somebody who drinks, smokes, is like overweight, 40 years old, just like dying very young, you know? Like
No, he's like early 20s.
oh, I thought he was
Like,
middle-aged.
No,
Is it
he's
on
he's
Funimation
early
or-
20s.
It's
He's
on Crunchyroll.
drinking-
and
It's
Funimation.
on
okay, so
Crunchy now. It was
having sex-
originally on Funimation.
It's on both. Real quick. Odd Taxi episode 1 is the
I
most
still have not watched Odd Taxi. It's in my queue. I need to watch it.
Tim, have you watched Full Dive MMO?
confusingly-
What?
Go ahead.
Have you watched Full Dive MMO is shittier than real life?
No, not yet.
I really need you guys to watch the show. I want to talk about it.
I'll watch it after we finish here.
I will rewatch it with
Taxi.
you. There's a GameStop
Odd-
waifu.
Odd Taxi.
Odd Taxi. Okay.
I don't even know what the show is gonna do.
Listen,
It's a bunch of animals in like a Zootopia world running around driving taxis and having relationships, and apparently like this one guy's lying and about to get beat up by a mobster who's a baboon and he's a walrus, and it's
I feel like I've seen the start of that.
it
a
was
long
shown at the
time ago,
Crunchyroll
though.
Awards. They were talking about it a lot. I know Paul like came in and was like ranting about it. It was like the opening's
old
the
is
greatest thing ever, and I watched
the
the
opening's
opening.
fantastic.
I watched the opening and I could not have cared less about it. It's maybe one of the most mediocre openings I've ever seen. The animation is just very bland during the entire opening. The song is just like super par. Like there's nothing there, Paul. I don't know what you were looking at.
Oof.
it's fine.
This is a rip.
It's just like it feels like watching an old timey detective show that's anime and Zootopia, but you have no idea what's going
But it's not good.
I don't know yet. I feel like this is gonna be
That's
that show-
that's the big question of the show. It's not who did the murders. Is this show
good.
actually good?
Well, so like this is my conclusion so far after the first episode.
Mhm.
As this show is going to either be the show that is not good until every single episode comes out and you get to watch it as a whole because it's like that weirdly interwoven,
So it's like Boogie Pop in that
or
sense.
it's going to be like those little 3-episode arcs and you just need to wait till that little mini arc is done and do that.
Like
Otherwise,
Bakemonogatari.
Yes.
Okay.
So we'll see
Also,
what happens.
Frank, Konosuba. Just put that on the list.
Oh yeah,
If
I'm
it's not
putting that
already
on the
there,
You
list.
can put it on there. I'm pretty sure my wife's seen it. She watches it. She'll watch it again anyway.
That it's just the humor in it is just peak. It's
Mhm.
nobody gives any fucks about anything, and it's just
Well,
beautiful.
because Konosuba is the guy gets killed, and then a goddess is like, "Oh, congrats, you can get reincarnated in another world." And he's like, "Wow, did I at least save that girl when I pushed her away from the truck?" And she's like, "Oh, there was no truck. It was a tractor. It was going at a really, really slow pace. There was no way that it would have killed her." He's like, "Wait, then how did I die?" He's like, Oh, well, you had a heart attack from the shock because you thought you were going to die. You actually pissed your pants on the way to the hospital. The doctors were all laughing at you. Your family couldn't even stop laughing when the doctors told them. It's pretty tragic. You're a loser. And he's just like, okay, well, I can pick any one thing to bring with me into this like fantasy world to kill the Demon King, right? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, okay, well, I'm taking you with me because fuck you. And it is.
Maybe I've seen it. That plot sounds very.
It's got the girl that only does explosion magic, the masochistic paladin, everyone's favorite characters.
I think we started it, but we didn't finish it.
It's a fun one.
It's one that you just have to, you kind of have to bunker down and be like, okay, no matter how much I want to look away at times, you just got to keep going because the payoff is there.
Okay, all right.
Mm.
Believe it.
Okay, we got to wrap this up because it's been almost 2 hours. Whew.
Oh wow! Oh no!
Listen. It's been a great podcast though, but every podcast, like every good story, has to come to an end. And what does a good story have?
A title.
light
A
novel.
shitty light novel title. That's right, everybody. So
Real hero has to come to an end. I'm just kidding.
This is our bit that we do. The can't believe it's not a light novel title. The title that spawned this, and is you're going to be disappointed by the title I give you after this one, just because nothing ever matches up. The original title is "My reincarnation as a hot spring in a different world is beyond belief. It's not like being inside you feels good or anything." That entire thing is the title.
That's it. That's the whole title.
That's just it. That's the thing. So I bring to you another story today, another tale. One day, Saijo Haruto was forced by the evil god of another world into reincarnation, and his soul was cursed. He was reborn into a world of swords and magic. In this world, you can only become stronger by raising the level of your combat occupation. Unfortunately, Halt cannot raise his level because of the curse. Halt felt hopeless. However, because of the evil god's miscalculations, Halt obtained an inexhaustible supply of magical power. In Level 1 Strongest Sage, cursed to be able to only use the lowest level of magic, but because of the god's miscalculation, I got infinite magic and became the strongest.
That sounds like a light novel.
Yeah, we got a solid light novel. Cherry is currently reading this in the chat. Why is it every single so every single week, right? I will go out, I will dig through the depths of the internet, and I will find the weirdest title I can find, and without fail, Cherry says, "I've read it before." Like every single time.
Or I'm currently reading it.
Like it's crazy. But so that one.
He does this on purpose. I am convinced.
I'm
convinced he goes out every single week to try and find the one that you are going to.
I feel like he has access to my computer somehow. Like, I have like a secret document with all the light novel titles that I'm gonna use, and I feel like he just reads them all and is like, all right, I need to make sure, like, I need to know the whole plot. But yes, that's
episode 37, guys.
Yeah.
That's a long whole episode.
Heck, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
absolutely. It was fun. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Frank, where can they find you on the internet?
Twitch.tv/Technique, no U, no E at the end, just the Q. And on Twitter, Technique TV, no U, no E at the end, just the TV part. And same thing with YouTube. And you might see me hosting all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
He hosts a lot of things all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Twitch ambassador, Twitch host, whole 9 yards.
And you might hear the voice in video games, so I can't tell you which ones, but you'll probably hear it. I do a lot of voices. You probably won't know it's me, but there'll be news. Watch the Twitters.
Yep, do that thing. Tim, where can they find you?
You guys can find me at Twitch and Twitter /Syndaxatrix, SYNDAXATRAX, and running the Studio Blank Twitter when I remember to tweet at it. Can you two please start fucking tweeting from that account so I am not the only one?
Listen, I thought you didn't want me overstepping on your boundaries, okay?
No. I am begging.
What
if I could get down on my knees right now and the camera could see it, I would.
Okay, 1 sec. I'm going to the Studio Blank Twitter right now. I got it. 1 second.
Nate, why don't you tell them where they can find you on the internet before you tweet from the account?
Well, you see, if you're looking for me, you can find me at twitch.tv/Comfamous, where the live viewers are currently watching this. You can also find me on Twitter at Comfamous, on Instagram, same thing, YouTube, same deal, and on TikTok at Comfamous TV, because some idiot stole Comfamous and won't give it to me.
And by idiot, you mean
it was
Noel.
me.
Lie to you guys.
I am the idiot in this situation. But yes. And then Paul, where can people find you?
Guys, you can find me on the internet, on Twitter and Instagram at I_love_Mondays, MUNDAYS, and then on Twitch at twitch.tv/I love Mondays, and also doing various things on the Rare Drop Twitch on Tuesdays and Fridays at twitch.tv/Rare Drop. Thanks, guys, for listening to episode 37, and we'll catch you guys next week. Have a great one.
Bye-bye.
Tim, you do that bye-bye thing the same way every
Bye-bye.
single week without fail.
You're right. I do. It's almost like it's planned.
I know. I'm just saying. It makes me happy.
Let me stop audio now.
Yep.
Yep.
Boop, there it is. All right. Let's see. File.
All right.
Or you
How
want
long is your
MP3
recording?
wave?
How long is your recording, Frank?
It's a good question. Hour and 48 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so we lost 12 minutes somewhere in there. We'll figure it out.
That won't. Not a problem.
You'll probably see the.
Yeah.
I might just cut it from the stream audio. The stream audio should be fine.
Yeah.
I did a little more leveling out this week, mostly because Cherry would not stop telling me that my audio levels were bad. Thank you, Cherry. The mod that everyone should aspire to be.
I feel targeted.
What do you want format wise? MP3 wave.
usually do
Wave
Wave.
would be wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wave. All right.
Tim, are you making a folder for them?
I
are-
am opening the
Yes, thank you, Cherry.
drive shortly. Give me a moment. I
And-
had to make sure that I remembered to export my own stuff before I accidentally closed Audacity or shut my computer down.
Oh yeah, always. And I just want to say a quick thank you to everybody that showed up at the stream. Very fun. It's almost like Cherry has training on how to hold someone accountable. Yeah, but he can't get me to keep to a solid schedule. So, whoa. Also, so yeah, thank you guys for showing up to the stream. It was fun. Maybe we'll be live next week on Sunday. Maybe we'll be live on Monday. Only time will tell. I probably won't be
figure it
live
out.
tomorrow. Probably. Who knows?
The